evening, everyone, and welcome back. This is part 4 of Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Path on the Nintendo DS, and we're starting the inherited turnabout tonight, the first case of the game. What's for dessert today?
Kathryn Hall!
And Jeff Masters' Piece of Cake!
Macaroons and waffles! Wait. Is it glitching the sound, or is it supposed to sound that way? Happiness for one and all, the sweetest temptations. There! Where? Over there! Take a peek inside the oven! Ding! Look, it's freshly baked desserts! Kathryn Hall and Jeff Masters' Piece of Cake. 3 p.m. decoration special. That's on TV. This program sure brings back memories. Ray Shields. Gregory. Tomorrow, I'm heading towards that fateful place with your son. To find out the truth of 18 years ago. April 2nd, 10:05 a.m., Zodiac Art Gallery, Fountain Patio. Mr. Shields, isn't it about time you told me what this is all about? Why did you bring me to this museum with you? You're not busy now, are you, Miles? I thought it would be nice if we could share the romance of the constellations together. Hi, critics. Exhausted, but in good spirits at least. I worked in the backyard in the afternoon today. It was super hot. And we'll just say that was a bit draining, but otherwise I'm feeling good. Thought it would be nice if we could share the romance of the constellations together. I beg your pardon, but I would like... Yeah, garden work, yeah. Trimming the hedge and carrying the bits of hedge that we trimmed from one place to another. So sorry, it was just a joke. Do you know about the final case your father worked on? The Is7 Incident? Yes, Manfred Von Karma showed it to me immediately after I became a prosecutor. I reviewed the case file again last night, after you invited me here. And while I don't remember it very well, I also had been in attendance at the trial back then. When I was young, I loved watching my father do battle in the courtroom. During that trial, it was my father, the defense attorney, Gregory Edgeworth, against Manfred Von Karma. And while the trial ended with the defendant being declared guilty... Okay, I see, so you were there too at Gregory's final trial. In that case, I'll cut to the chase and tell you what you want to know. The truth about the Is7 incident. It happened 18 years ago during the winter. All the buildings were covered in snow, coating the entire town like a layer of frosting. And it was in this very place that the incident occurred. This was all before Uncle Ray became a defense attorney. He speaks of himself in the third person. Was he involved in the case then? Ah, no, okay, he was like an assistant of some kind, I guess. And that's why you took him as an assistant, I guess. He was the assistant to Gregory Edgeworth, that's why. Mr. Edgeworth, this request was sudden, don't you think? Indeed, we were contacted immediately after the client was arrested. My name is Gregory Edgeworth. I'm a defense attorney. I brought my assistant Raymond with me to meet our client, but... A murder on Christmas Eve, this is just too much. Ah, in the darkness! A miraculous meeting! It's that guy from the TV show from before. What's his name? Jeff Masters or something? Welcome one and all to the visitor's room. Amazing. So this is what meeting a client is like. What's the guard doing back there? It all happened so suddenly I was completely surprised. I'm also surprised. 1,000 pardons for startling you. I am merely expressing my happiness through song. Welcome one and all. I greatly appreciate you coming. So you're the client for this case? Indeed. My name is Gregory Edgeworth. I'm a defense attorney. I will be representing you in court. This is my assistant, Raymond Shields. Nice to meet you. I'll do my best to help you. Relax, Raymond. Please, excuse his jitters. He's working part-time at my office as an apprentice. I thought I'd let him assist me in this investigation. So, Mr. Gregory and Raymond, correct? I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. My job involves saving my clients from crimes in which they were falsely accused. First, I should determine if he is truly innocent. First, I would like to know more about you. I have forgotten to introduce myself. My name is Jeffrey Master. It's not Masters, it's Master. You mean you're Master Jeff? The world's greatest pastry chef, Jeff Master, the Master Chef. Yes, I am honored that you have heard of me. All my fans call me Master Jeff. Wowzers, I'm totally starstruck. I can't believe I get to meet Master Jeff. Raymond seems to know quite a bit about Mr. Master. Master Jeff makes fantastic desserts while putting on a song and dance show. What's for dessert today? Macaroons and waffles, light and fluffy chiffon cake. Yeah, right, okay. I will not try to sing the whole thing. Where? Over there. Take a peek inside the oven. Ding. Look, it's freshly baked desserts. And the guard is into it too. I got caught up in their song myself. Gregory. Wow, I'm so happy that I got to sing with Master Jeff. Uh-oh, thank you. I am happy to hear that as well. Nice. Mr. Master, Raymond, shall we return to the matter at hand? Yes, of course. My sincerest apologies for making you wait. Now, where should we start? Oops. Crud. Well, tell me about yourself. You are the world's greatest pastry chef, but you are also skilled in song and dance? Yes, when I'm having a good time, my body just moves to the rhythm by itself. You seem to enjoy making desserts from the bottom of your heart. Oh, if you don't have a good time making desserts, you won't make anything good. Creating desserts that bring happiness to one and all is my purpose in life. Master Jeff's desserts are practically works of art. They sparkle and look so delicious. He's famous for his dreamlike desserts. Bringing happiness to all with his dreamlike desserts, huh? What are you accused of? That would be a good thing to know, don't you think? The incident occurred in your estate, is that correct? Yes. That's where the Great Dessert Contest was being held. It seems that the body was discovered in one of my creations. And who's the victim? They found it in one of your desserts? For that reason, I was arrested by the detective in charge of the initial investigation. I would never do something as vile as robbing someone of their life. I am certain that the police will also realize that they have made a mistake. Really? Do you know anything about the victim? He was a man named Isaac Dover. He was one of the competitors in the contest. He was a wonderful man who made desserts of the highest beauty. Why did he have to die? I see. He truly seems to be grieving over the victim's death. Well, he could be a good actor. You can't just draw conclusions just from that. I believe I have a sufficient understanding of Mr. Master's personality. Crud. Mr. Master, before I accept your request, there is one final matter I must confirm. You did not kill Mr. Dover. Can I take your word for it? Yes, that is correct. I did not kill him. No matter what happens, I would never take another person's life. Those aren't the eyes of a liar. Yep, that's enough for me, Mr. Judge, so you should declare him not guilty. I understand, I believe you. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us. The pleasure is all mine. I am grateful to speak with someone other than the detective. Next, we shall begin our investigation of the crime scene. We will report back with our findings once we have finished. Mr. Gregory, Raymond, I wish you good luck. Contest venue, Fountain Patio. Phew, it sure is cold outside. I didn't expect it to be snowing this hard. Snowing? Indeed, a blizzard like this will probably not clear up for a while. Doesn't seem to be snowing. But even so, or maybe they mean outside, and this is inside, maybe. But even so, this mansion is ginormous. So this is what Master Jeff's place is like, huh? If you're going to hold a contest in your own home, you would need this much space after all. La, welcome, thank you for coming. Who said that? Isn't that a partner in those TV shows? Eek! Oh my, are you okay? I'm so very sorry. Would you happen to be Monsieur Edgeworth? Yes, I am Gregory Edgeworth. And I'm his assistant, Raymond Shields. Greetings and welcome, Monsieur Edgeworth and Monsieur Shields. Please call me Kathryn Hall. I am in charge of the household affairs of this estate, and am also Monsieur Master's assistant. Ah, no way, you're the famous Kate, aren't you? You know of me? Of course I do, I see you on TV all the time. I am a big fan of piece of cake. Can I have a hug? Oh goodness, I'm glad to hear that you're a fan. Tell me, what is this piece of cake? It's a TV show that's hugely popular with the kids. Master Jeff and Kate sing and dance while they make delicious treats. Just like this. they're gonna do it again. What's for dessert today? Cookies and caramel, rich and feathery cream puffs. Let's make it together. A delectable paradise. Ever you just open up the oven? Think. Now it's time for dessert. I imagine a song like a commercial for Mentos or something. Monsieur Shields, that was incredible. I always practice along with the show. Maybe I should tell my son about this show. But man, doing this dance repeatedly sure works up your appetite. Pardon my inconsideration. I've forgotten to take care of our guests. Please relax and have some tea. Oh, this is some fine Ceylon tea. I hear the aroma of citrus does wonders for your concentration. I see, so this is what Ceylon tea smells like. These saucers are chilled. Yes, they help cool the tea more quickly for people who are bad with hot beverages. I see, these teacups also have a wonderful design. Oh, thank you very much. They are one of the few pride and joys of our estate, ordered directly from France. They were made by the famed sculptor Pierre Hoquet. They are my absolute favorite articles of tableware. You seem to greatly appreciate this man's words. Yes, they are like treasures to me. She appears to be very honest about what she likes. Thank you, Miss Hall, but it's time for us to move on to business. Are there any details that you can give us about the incident? You're right. I sometimes get so distracted welcoming guests that I forget myself. To tell the truth, I was the one who discovered Monsieur Dover's body. So you were the first one to discover the body? Is it true that the body was discovered in one of Mr. Master's desserts? Yes, it was during the judging of the Great Dessert Contest. I heard the sound of something breaking from Monsieur Master's room. Monsieur Master, are you in here? Yee. When I looked inside the room, I saw Monsieur Dover's body inside the treasure chest. Thank you very much. Was it made of chocolate or something? I'm sorry to have made you recall such painful memories. The break sounds tasty, like biting into chocolate. Swiss chocolate, of course. Toblerone. No, I should be the one apologizing for not being much help. Now then, I believe it's time for us to start investigating the crime scene. Monsieur Edgeworth, Monsieur Shields, please find some way to save Monsieur Master. Monsieur Master is not someone who would commit murder. Yes, of course. Just leave it to us. Then I shall entrust it to you. If you'll excuse me, I have to continue serving tea to the other inspectors. They are not doing their job, they're just drinking tea. Raymond, let's head to the crime scene. Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth. Hey, I recognize this guy. The police officer there. From which game have I seen him in again? Was it the first one, maybe? The previous game? I can't recall. I think it was. He had, like, bullet holes. Yeah, he had bullet holes in his jacket in Investigations 1. But I guess this is taking place before it, so he's younger here. Contest venue, Master's room. Wow, this whole thing is made of chocolate. Can't believe I'm actually seeing Master Jeff's desserts up close. Were this not the scene of a murder, I admit I too would have delighted in this occasion. Now that you've reminded me it's a murder scene, I'm getting shivers down my spine. Perhaps it's because this room is cold to begin with. Now that you mention it, this room really is cold. Achoo! Well, I guess to avoid the chocolate melting, you would have to keep it at a cool temperature, wouldn't you? Ah, there he is. Whatever his name was, I forgot. Never expected the defense attorney to show up so early. Pleased to meet you. I'm Jeff Master's defense attorney, Gregory Edgeworth. This is my assistant, Raymond. How do you do? Detective Tyrell Bad. Yeah. Homicide. Mr. Bad. The detective in charge of this case, a man of few words. Tastes kinda bitter. Okay. He ate the paper. He likes to digest his memos in his stomach as well as in his mind. It's just a strange habit of his. Please don't be too concerned. It would probably be too much to ask him not to be concerned at all. More importantly, Detective Bad, will you give us permission to participate in the investigation? Permission denied. Why? Mr. Edgeworth is Master Jeff's defense attorney. Defense attorneys plant false evidence to try and get their not guilty verdict. I don't want their kind to disturb the crime scene. Mr. Edgeworth would never use false evidence to defend his client. Yeah, I remember now the first time I saw him thinking it was a fag in his mouth, and actually it's a lollipop or something like that, isn't it? He's sucking on a lollipop. Hey, I can't trust that coming from a defense attorney. Do the police still suspect Mr. Master even after the investigation? If we didn't, we wouldn't have arrested him. I believe that Mr. Master is innocent. That's why I have come to investigate. Believing in his innocence without investigating the crime scene. How naive. That's why I would like your permission to investigate. By investigating the crime scene, I want to ascertain if my thinking was naive or not. So you don't intend to leave until you've investigated the crime scene? Yes. Fine then. I will give you permission to investigate the crime scene. Thank you. But I'll be accompanying you. I can't trust you defense attorneys after all. If you understand that, you can begin your investigation. That's a lollipop? I'm a little surprised myself. Alright, let's begin the investigation. Raymond, be sure to take notes on the case. Leave it to me, Mr. Edgeworth. Just begin already. So the body was found in the treasure chest. So this was where the body was discovered. Yeah, the body has been removed. But otherwise, the crime scene has remained untouched. To build such a large ship out of chocolate is magnificent. As expected of Master Jeff, I want to try eating it. Although I have no idea where to start eating it from. Anywhere should be fine. But if you start eating the crime scene, I'll make you leave. Don't glare at me. Can't you tell it was a joke? I'd like Raymond to be just a little bit calmer. It seems that the body was discovered inside this chocolate treasure chest. The person who discovered it was Miss Hall. Yes, that she said as much. Monsieur Master, are you in here? She heard the sound of something breaking inside this room and came in. What was the sound that came from Mr. Master's room? It seems like a lot of trouble to go through to hide the treasure chest in there. If the lid is gonna be broken anyway and the body is showing, there has to be an explanation for this. What was the sound that came from Mr. Master's room? I would like a little more information about this. What's this? Something has been dropped inside the treasure chest. This is a coin? No. A seal with a design and initials carved into it. Looks like a signet crest. Was it the victim's? He wasn't dead, so he started eating, which made the sound she heard, and he then died of diabetes. Signet crest added to the court record. No, we've already had this thing. No, okay, we've already been there. Okay. Is there anything else? Well, that's the boat, isn't it? Yeah, okay, the ship. No, but okay, yeah, you can move to the other side. All right. The Voyage of the good ship Redrum is written here. It sailed the 7 seas and in the end finally found huge treasure, modeled after the glory of an ancient adventurer. It's written here. So he failed 6 times. What an unlucky captain. No matter how many times he went on a fool's errand, in the end, he reached the truth. It's just like a detective spirit. Did detectives even exist during the ancient times? It seems that the stand supporting the ship has been broken. That might explain why the lid of the treasure chest was broken. If this thing broke, maybe the ship slid down or something on top of it, and that broke the lid. The ship was broken and caused the ship to tip over. The ship tipped over and broke the treasure chest, didn't it? Maybe. Could the victim have been crushed by the ship and killed? Do we have an autopsy report, maybe? If that were the case, this would have been an accidental death. You two aren't serious about that, right? Well, we were only discussing one of the possibilities. I was being pretty serious, though. Detective Bad, I would like you to tell me about the state of the victim. If you mean a photo of the body, here, look at it. All you like. Trauma to the head, it seems. The victim appears to have been beaten to death with a blunt object. Yeah. Has the murder weapon been found? You should try asking the prosecutor in charge later. Yeah, as if Von Karma is likely to tell me anything about it. He's probably gonna hang on to any information he has. It seems he doesn't intend to tell me frankly. So, may I borrow this photograph? Sure, it's not a photo that was taken by the police. Miss Hall took a photo of the body with an instant camera when she discovered it. Pretty thoughtful of her. A Polaroid, if you like. An instant camera is a camera that can develop its film right after taking a picture. Such a convenient camera exists. What if, yeah, I guess if this game took place 18 years before the events of Investigations 2, which is a 2011 game, even assuming that Investigations 2 takes place in the year that it was released in. Yeah, I guess those things would probably have still been quite popular by then, like the mid-1990s or something. Anyway, let's go over the state of the crime scene of it. This photo, upon closer examination, contradicts the state of the crime scene. I'll have to use a contradiction to resolve this matter. Well, other than the body not being there anymore because it's been moved, obviously. The victim's body was found in a treasure chest made of chocolate in Jeff Master's room. The cause of death seems to be a hard blow to the head by a blunt object. Does he mean the fact that all the blood is gone? Because even if the body was removed, the pool of blood should still be there. Is that what is meant by a contradiction? Or is it the fact that the bottom of the chest seems to have been damaged or something? Or maybe this is because that's where the body was? Yeah, no. What am I supposed to deduce exactly? Let me have another look at it. Is it just me, or is this sort of a signet like they say? It looks kind of different in the photo. It's hard to tell for you guys probably because it's too small on the bottom screen, but well, I don't know. In the art here, it seems to have a hole in the middle, but in the present time, it doesn't seem to have a hole in the middle. Don't need to solve it. You do it for the stream, yeah. Won't rest until It's kind of hard to compare, really. Because I can't compare them side by side. Is it, well, to me it's weird already that there's no blood. Where did all the blood go? Or should I myself, hold on, point this thing here, deduce? Where did all the blood go? Are you sure the only thing the police removed from the crime scene was the body? They also took away the piece of cloth the body was wrapped in. In that case, a major contradiction has been created at the crime scene. Contradiction? Detective Bat, please look at the crime scene carefully once more. The blood stain that should have remained at the crime scene has disappeared. I definitely didn't get any reports about the blood stain being cleaned up. Well, there we go. Okay, well, that seemed obvious. I'll check with forensics. Mr. Edgeworth, what happened? Comparing the photo and the crime scene, something struck me as being out of place. In the photo, the chocolate underneath the body remained intact inside the treasure chest. It looks almost as if it was scratched off in the resulting scene. However, in the actual crime scene, it's missing. The chocolate with the bloodstain has completely vanished. Thank you for the 18-3 sub, Harby. Hello, hello. It is super hot in Belgium today, yeah. And I was working outside this afternoon, and I can tell you it was pretty painful to be working under the sun and carrying stuff around in the backyard. Yes, did the police remove it, or was this the work of the criminal? According to forensics, no one has cleaned up any bloodstains. I see, well, that would mean someone erased the bloodstain. Who knows? Notes on the crime scene. The body was recovered by the police. Touch the check button for details. So is that everything? Or maybe I should use logic. Breaking sound. It's getting hot out there real quick lately. Well, it's mostly the same over here too. It's gonna be intense. Well, it's looking like it will be, yeah. We can't really say, but due to the broken stand. Yeah, I don't like heat too much myself either, so I do hope that it won't be too hot either. Due to the broken stand, the ship lost its balance. It would seem Miss Hall entered the room upon hearing the ship collapse. You're another beach boy? Oh, if I could go to the beach, I would love to go. Yeah, when Miss Hall entered the room, the ship had already fallen over. At any rate, I wonder why the stand broke. The ship fell over because the stand broke. Why did it break? Maybe there was something wrong with the ship's balance in the first place. Is that really true? Well, let me talk to him, maybe. What? Your way of investigating is too soft. An investigation is like a popsicle. Walk around the crime scene. Hey, lakes are cool. We have a few here too, but not nearly as much as in Switzerland, obviously. And not as pretty either. Crowded as fuck this year? It might be, yeah. If you do that little by little, you'll lick it down to its core. But yeah, we have one sort of major lake in the southern part of Belgium, which is very like popular in the summer especially, and that place might get crowded. But now, because of social distancing, I don't know if they will allow it to be crowded, to be honest. I still don't know how that's gonna go. If you do that little by little, you lick it down to its core. And the truth will be written on the end of the popsicle stick. I pray that it doesn't say the truth was lost for all eternity. There are several puzzling points in this case. I would like a little more information on the state of the crime scene. You have your own 2 feet. Why don't you go investigate? Why don't you go investigate yourself? That's how a detective does things. We may be in different positions, but we both want to know the truth of this case. Wouldn't it be better if you cooperated a bit more? He's fallen silent as a stone, and a rather large stone. Is that also how a detective does things? Well, what should I do? Talk to the other guys, the forensics? What about over here? Was there nothing suspicious in the cupboard? No, sir! So there was something. Oh, no. Only things like cooking burners and tableware were placed there. I see. Defense attorney. Was there nothing that you noticed? No. So you did notice something. Oh no, I didn't notice anything. Everyone's always giving replies that are difficult to understand. I think it's your way of asking that's bad. Yeah, what you been up to, Arby? What are you investigating? Sir, I'm checking the temperature of the stream. What have you learned? Sir, the stream has warm water. The stream is connected to the fountain in the patio and runs through every room. Thought they said this place was cool. It's an unusual construction for a room. The minds of the rich. I'll never understand. Yeah, who's this guy? And what are those? Really, stream is hot. I need to cool down. Elegant tableware and cookware are placed on the counter. It looks like the same tea set Miss Hall was using earlier. Was Master Jeff drinking this black tea? Yeah, Master Jeff. He's not there! Where are you, Jeff? On this tea set, only Jeff Master's fingerprints were found. Were his fingerprints found on any of the other cookware? The cookware was washed. Nobody's fingerprints remained. Or he might have been cooking with gloves on. It seems the only thing here with his fingerprints is the tea sets. Jeff's teapot handed to the court record. Excuse me, but you are? My apologies, I was meditating. What did you ask, Sir Detective? Actually, I'm a defense attorney. My name is Gregory Edgeworth. I'm his assistant, Raymond. Pardon my late introduction. My name is Dane Gustavia. I am one of the pastry chefs participating in this contest. What kind of desserts do you make, Mr. Gustavia? Oh. My specialty is making desserts out of candy. Oh, what a cute seahorse! It was meant to be a dragon dancing in the sky. This is a dragon? I think it would fit better in the ocean than in the sky. I know all too well that design is my weak point. I plan to study design and undergo training in Zengfa once things settle down here. I probably shouldn't touch the subject of design any further. Mr. Gustavia, if you aren't related to the investigation, why are you in this room? Sir Detective wanted to know more about the desserts in this room, so he asked me to come. Since he's one of the contestants, he might know something. Yeah, like what's this contest about? Mr. Gustavia, those instruments you use are quite unusual. It blows air in the sugar so that you can make candy sculptures out of it, I guess. These instruments are called candy pumps, and they pump air into the candy. Well, okay, yeah, he just said it himself. They kind of look like swords. They're so cool. Somehow, I think that him explaining what candy pumps are is gonna be relevant to the investigation, because why would they waste precious time explaining what it is unless this was pertinent to the case at hand? Ever since I began using them, no day has gone by where I didn't receive a burn or wound. That's why I wear red clothes, so that not a single stain will ever show on me. Making desserts, but the animation is just part of the character, Rudy. Yeah, but they go out of their way to explain to you what these tools are, so... Does he injure himself because he hasn't trained enough? The contests. Can you tell me about the great dessert contest that was held here? From the looks of this room, it seems the desserts weren't just for eating. The exhibition Sir Master held was a contest in the art of dessert. The art of desserts. Desserts that are true works of art made solely out of edible materials. The works of art in this room are all made from desserts. Now that you mention it, the whole room is filled with the smell of chocolate. Sir Master exhibits great talent in both flavor and design. If you are not able to surpass Sir Master in flavor and design, you will not be able to win. Beating the world's greatest pastry chef is pretty hard, isn't it? On his home turf, no less. It's his home. In other words, if I can surpass Sir Master, I shall become the world's greatest pastry chef. Unless he is a judge, maybe, in the contest. My client. That was the prize of this contest. The prize is the title of the world's greatest. In addition to that, there is also Sir Master's treasured Angel's recipe. If you want to learn more about the contest, just look at this piece of paper. These were the rules that were given to the participants of the contest. I'm interested in that. What were they? Prizes, title of world's greatest pastry chef, and Angel's recipe. Rules. Number 1, contestants' rooms will be judged, starting from the left. Afterwards, all parties will meet in Jeff's room. Any decorations not made from desserts are prohibited. Entering another contestant's room before the judging is done is prohibited. But the case. Sorry, but I do not know much about the incident. I only learned about the incident after the judging had finished. How was the contest judging carried out? Let's see. Sir Master started judging at 3 p.m. Starting from my room, the judging proceeded in a clockwise direction. And it seems like the room of the victim was the last one. I used the room to the right of Sir Master's room, which is the room where we're in now. Okay. Delicia's? Who is Delicia's? Delicia. Next, the room of a female pastry chef named Delicia was judged. A female pastry chef? What kind of person is she? She is a frightening woman who would do anything to achieve her goal. I heard she used lots of cream to make a fantasy-themed dessert. And lastly, Sir Dover's room was judged. His works were frozen statues made from sherbet. Hall discovered the body in the middle of Gustavia's judging. So, not everyone got judged then, I guess. She panicked, and because she immediately notified the police, Master continued judging, without knowledge that the body has been discovered. Ah, okay. As a result, Master judged Dover's room in Dover's absence. It seems we have plenty of room to suspect Master. I'm lacking in information. It's probably too early to object. By the way, Detective Bad, what were you talking to Mr. Gustavia about earlier? I was asking him about the chocolate frame hanging on that wall. I thought something was missing. Yeah, like a leaf or something? I thought if I asked someone who knew a lot about desserts, I could get an answer. Although, thanks to your arrival, I still haven't gotten my answer yet. Well then, since you've been waiting for so long, we can ask him about it right now. I guess you don't understand sarcasm. Mr. Gustavia, can you assist us with this matter? I train in the art of desserts every day. If you have a question about desserts, please do not hesitate to ask. Thank you very much. Wait. Was Master Jeff drinking this black tea? On this tea set, only Jeff Master's fingerprints were found. Were his fingerprints found on any of the other cookware? The cookware was washed. Nobody's fingerprints remained. Or he might have been cooking with gloves on. Yeah, right. Yeah, I already got that one. Okay, I was hoping to ask him about the missing piece of the frame. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking crook and granny. You can make such a beautiful picture out of chocolate, as expected of Master Jeff. Is this really chocolate? It looks like an actual picture to me. Impressive, Sir Attorney. You notice well. This picture of an angel is not a dessert, but rather the angel's recipe. The angel's recipe? Prize for the contest? Hey, this picture isn't made of chocolate? Indeed, within this chocolate frame lies a recipe book. Sir Master told everyone when he explained the rules of the contest to us in this room. So the contestants knew the recipe was here. How about it, this frame? Don't you think it's missing something? Well, I do think so. Pardon me. Okay. This must be what Detective Bad was asking Mr. Gustavia about earlier. This chocolate frame, there does seem to be a part that's missing. That's what's been bothering me as well. What's missing? This... The cursor lands right on it. Oh. That's his voice, Gregory's. Look closely at this part with the decorations. Can you see that one of them is missing? It's true, it's different from the other decorations. This imperfect balance in the decorations is not like Sir Master. Upon closer examination, it seems this frame is not the only one with missing parts. We need to investigate further. All the desserts in this room each have one part missing. What? The candle holder and the sailing tools are all damaged as well. So someone tampered with the crime scene. The desserts Mr. Master made were damaged in several places. Perhaps, maybe Master vandalized the room himself to fool us. Master Jeff wouldn't do that sort of thing to his desserts. Tempered desserts. I wonder if they are connected to the incident. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking crook and granny. One of them is not lit. A dessert in the shape of a candle holder, huh? It's titled Light of Life. It seems that one of these important lights, isn't lit. By the way, you defeated Magus and Chrono Trigger now? Ah. Yeah, you're back in 65,000 BC. Yeah, you're getting to a good part of the game soon. It seems that one of these important lights isn't lit. It is symbolic. Is it symbolic or is it missing something? The captain's log of a chocolate ship, which is also made out of chocolate. It seems its title is Journal of Regret. Running out of rum while drifting at the Red Sea has really made me red with regrets, it reads. I don't know what kind of voyage it was, but it doesn't seem very regretful. What's these things? This is a fire alarm. Okay. Let me say in advance, that's not a dessert. It's the real deal. If you press that, an alarm will sound and security will be contacted. I understand that you want to press it to see what happens, but please restrain yourself. No, I didn't particularly feel like pressing it. It's because you're a defense attorney. I don't think being a defense attorney has anything to do with it. Objection, Panda! How's it going? There are more on this side. good. Just got back from the lake. There for 8 days. Been chilling by the lake. Fishing maybe or something. It appears to be a display of sailing equipment. There's also the possibility that one of these is the murder weapon. Inner tubing. Inner tubing. Can't beat someone to death with these. Misleading. At any rate, they all have such a good workmanship that they look just like the real thing. It really speaks about the level of skill Mr. Master has in his craft. Oh yeah, this thing up there is missing a part as well. The helm up there. I know it's the same item description. What am I supposed to do now? This is an actual crime scene. I'm so excited. This isn't a game, Raymond. Please be more serious. Yes, sir. I'm taking a memo right now. Oh, what exactly are you writing? I'm copying down this dessert recipe over here. Raymond, please be more serious. Yes, sir. Or do I need to use logic maybe, because I haven't tried in some time. Maybe because that was tampered with? Ah, okay, there we go. Maybe this is what I needed to move things forward. Each of Mr. Master's works had a piece that was missing. Add to that the fact that the ship's chocolate stand was broken. I think we can surmise that someone ransacked this room. And the one who did it could be the true culprit. That I don't know, but I think it's safe to say that the ship's stand got broken when the room was ransacked. And when the ship fell over, it broke the treasure chest lid. I expect that the lid of the treasure chest was originally closed. Hey, there's a hand mark on the frame. These finger marks are unidentified finger marks. We don't know who they belong to, since no fingerprints were left behind. Finger marks without fingerprints? These might be related to the case. The fact that someone was wearing gloves. Someone left finger marks on the chocolate frame, no fingerprints were found. It's a mystery. He was probably wearing gloves. Detective Bat lacks dream and romance. I don't think there are dreams of or romance at a murder scene. Achoo! Are you alright, Raymond? This room is way too cold. The fountain patio wasn't very warm either. This room certainly is cold. Do you want to wear my coat? Nope, I'm fine, because that's something that you promised to give me when I become a defense attorney. Yeah, that's right. Ah, yeah, the hat. Why is the temperature turned down so low? It's been turned down in order to maintain the chocolate's temperature. Why don't you try opening the panel cover on that wall? Panel cover. What? There's a secret panel in here. This control panel is installed in all the rooms Sir Master prepared. So as to not detract from the dessert's presentation, the cover was closed to conceal it. What does the panel do? It allows you to change the temperature and the lighting in the room. In order to preserve any type of dessert, it can go down to about minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit. That sounds like a lot. I'm not quite sure how much that would be in Celsius, but like... hold on, 0 is 30 something in Fahrenheit. So I don't know, maybe minus 25 maybe, or something like that. Or lower than that. The room would be like a freezer, yeah. It's set to 59 degrees Fahrenheit. No wonder I thought it was cold. Detective Bad. I'm not allowed to change the temperature, am I? Preserving the crime scene is the foundation of being a detective. But I'm not a detective. A defense attorney can't recklessly damage a crime scene either. True enough. Indeed, Sir Assistant, enduring hardship is also part of training. In order to preserve chocolate, 59 degrees Fahrenheit to 64 is the ideal temperature. The ideal temperature for chocolate is expected of the dessert chef. No, it is but a trifle. This is basic knowledge that anyone should know if they're a dessert chef. So what's the ideal temperature for candy and fresh cream? As long as you watch out for humidity and hot temperatures, candy shouldn't melt. For fresh cream, around 50% is the ideal temperature. You need to watch out for the humidity and hot temperatures for candy, I see. Detective Bad, he seemed a bit happy when they were talking about candy. Is candy one of his favorite things? Ah, investigation complete. Okay. Yeah, well, let me save everything I've done because I haven't saved in an hour. Seems our investigation of this room is just about over. Crime scene notes updated. Good theme, that one. You should make it clear Jeff Master is the culprit. Why? All the rooms in this mansion were locked from the inside, and the only way to open them from the outside was to use this key to the mansion. Do you know who had the key? Master was the only one with the key. There were no spare keys. By using the mansion key, Master could enter all the contestants' rooms. Of course, the key could also lock his room from the outside. However, Mr. Master's room is currently unlocked. That's why I suspect Master is the culprit. I'd like to hear your reasoning in more detail. If the body had been found in the locked room, Master would have been the prime suspect. That's why Master made sure to leave the door to his own room unlocked. And to ensure that the body would be seen, Master broke the lid on the treasure chest. After the judging, everyone was scheduled to meet in Master's room. That would have created the impression that the murder had occurred while he was away. Contrary to his expectations, the body was discovered by Miss Hall. That's my reason for suspecting Master. Got that, Ace Attorney? So you also think it was Mr. Master himself who vandalized this room? Yeah. You defense attorneys believe that justice lies in trusting your clients, but I am a detective. If I believed every poor sap's story, I'd let the suspicious ones get away. I understand your reasoning thoroughly. However, I'd like you to hear my thoughts on the subject now. Fine. Detective Bad believes that he is right, but I won't give up so easily. I can't accept his reasoning. I'll have to show him evidence that contradicts it. Why he suspects Master? If the body had been found in the locked room, Master would have been... Wait, if the body had been found in the locked room, Master would have been the prime suspect. But he is, either way. That's why Master made sure to leave the door to his own room unlocked. And to ensure that the body would be seen, Master broke the lid on the treasure chest. After the judging, everyone was scheduled to meet in Master's room. That would have created the impression that the murder had occurred while he was away. Detective Bat seems adamant that Mr. Master is the culprit. I don't think Master Jeff would have broken his own creations, but why was the treasure chest broken then? Just think back to the situation in which the body was found. In doing so, we should be able to see the contradiction in Bat's reasoning. If the body had been found in the locked room, Master would have been the prime suspect. I'd like to hear more about this. He left it unlocked. If the door had been locked, Master would be the only one who could commit the crime. Well, maybe the door just happened to be unlocked. Then maybe the body just happened to be lying in the open, waiting to be discovered. Runt, do you think you can become a good detective with logic like that? But I don't want to be a detective. I want to be a defense attorney. I hope he isn't trying to steal my apprentice. Master had a reason to leave the door unlocked. Oh yeah? Care to share it with us? Well, I thought it was meant to be the boat. Yeah, some circumstances are unclear regarding a part of the treasure chest and the bloodstain. Each of the desserts in Master's room have one part missing. Ah, wait, there was more. Oh yeah, but the picture, yeah, okay, I guess.
Objection!
Originally, the victim's body was hidden inside the chocolate treasure chest. Miss Hall entered the room when she heard a sound. I think it is likely that this was the sound of the chocolate chip falling over. Yeah, that's what you would think, just by looking at the crime scene. You said that Mr. Master broke the treasure chest lid himself? But this photo shows that the ship's fall caused the lid to break. Or at least that's what it would lead me to think. Oh boy, I'm so hot in this place. If the lid broke just before Miss Hall found the body, then Mr. Master, who was in the middle of judging, could not have broken it. I never said that Mr. Master broke the lid directly. The ship was set up to fall during the judging, I believe. He tampered with the stand.
Objection!
Do you have proof he tampered with it? No, but the investigation isn't completely over yet. It seems they still haven't found anything conclusive. Have you found any other fingerprints other than Mr. Master's in this room? Yeah, there were some left on the door. But the victim, Dover, and Master were also among the fingerprints left behind. Before we made our desserts, we all gathered here to have the judging explained to us. Perhaps that was when we left those fingerprints? But you didn't find any fingerprints on the works in this room. What? Someone tampered with the chocolate in this room, so perhaps there are other fingerprints on it, apart from Mr. Master's. No matter what we find, it won't clear Master of suspicion. Labby, hurry up and dust the chocolate for fingerprints. Detective Bad, we found another person's fingerprints on all the chocolates in the room. Whose fingerprints are they? They belong to a pastry chef by the name of Delisha. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to interrogate her. Okay, good work. Return to the investigation. Yes, sir. It would seem that there are other suspicious people besides Mr. Master after all. I don't need a defense attorney to tell me that. I'm not stopping my investigation. We'll just go and listen to what this Delisha has to say. Delisha, Gustavia told us about her not long ago. Is she really a frightening woman who would do anything to achieve her goal? Edgeworth, this Delisha lady sounds mightily suspicious to me. It seems that it will be necessary for us to speak with her directly as well. Detective Bad, would you allow us to accompany you? I am not obligated to do that. Oh, I'm so tired. But you were the one who discovered the truth of the crime scene. Fine, have it your way. Follow me. Detective Bad, thank you. Detective Bad, sir, are you sure about that? Right now, that prosecutor is in the room. Oh no, not him. Von Karma. Doesn't matter, him and I don't see eye to eye. Him? Who's the prosecutor in charge? Yeah, I'd like to still keep going a bit though. I don't want to stop so soon after starting. Him? Who's the prosecutor in charge of this case anyway? Manfred Von Karma. What? Von Karma is in charge? That guy hasn't lost a case in 25 years. Manfred Von Karma, the living legend of the prosecutor's office. If the rumors of his courtroom performance are to be believed, he's a man who would do anything for a guilty verdict. No matter what kind of prosecutor he is, I can only hold true to the path I believe in. To be continued. Well, let's at the very least, try to get through the next part of the case. Shall we? And then we'll see how I feel after doing that one. Wow, a candy castle, and there are even some fairies over there. Yeah, none of this. Don't want to see me collapse on stream. Just water. None of what is in this room fits with Von Karma, in my opinion. Von Karma and fairy and fairy castles. This room seems to be structured in the same way as Master's room, but it's nowhere near as cold. This room also seems to have been fitted with a temperature control panel. Ah, it's covered by that orange lamp, right? Indeed. Let's not forget to investigate it later. Even so, this room is like something out of a fairy tale. Is this cream-covered castle Delisha's work? Where's Delisha? Oi! Can I help you? Oh, is that her? For a second, she reminded me of what's her name again? In Harry Potter, that teacher always wearing pink. I can't remember her name now. Anyway, it's not important. No, not Lockhart. No, a woman. In Order of the Phoenix. Dolores Umbridge. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Hello, boys. I'm Delicious Cones. I don't know why I was reminded of her when she entered the screen because of her hair more than anything else. In my native England, I'm known as Miss Delicious. Being called a boy even though I'm already 34, it's certainly a rare experience. Boys, I understand you calling me that, but Mr. Edgeworth? If she's like her, then the case is solved. She was it. As far as I'm concerned, you're all boys to me, even that detective over there. My name is Bad, not Boy. Are you bad? Just how old is this woman? Ah, okay, no, her profile doesn't spoil it. Pastor Chef, her nickname is Miss Delicious Hales from England. Is Miss Delicious, point, Hales from England. Okay, no, never mind. Let's just finish our business here. Right. Objection! I know that voice. You, what do you think you're doing conversing with a mere attorney? He was inside the castle. Mr. Edgeworth, the scary man, came out of the candy castle. Hey, this man is Prosecutor Von Karma. Manny! Wait, she called him Manny? So he's Von Karma. Pleased to meet you, Prosecutor Von Karma. My name is Gregory Edgeworth, defense attorney. Bah! I have no interest in the names of defense attorneys. They are only for me to crush. Oh! Okay, well, I wasn't too far off. This is actually pretty much what he says. He also just a boy. Manny. After all, they only exist to be crushed by me. I kinda guessed what he was about to say. What a rude man. That piercing gaze and furrowed brow. He's even scarier than the rumors say. Although that statement was also very rude. Prosecutor Von Karma, would you allow us to investigate too? Do you think I would give information to a mere defense attorney? As I thought, it won't be that simple. However, I'll make a special exception for this room. Why did he change his mind so quickly? You, old bloodhound. Don't call me that. My name is Bad. Ha, a mere detective speaking back to me. I admire your courage at least. Bad, stand watch and see to it that they don't misbehave. Why, me? I will not accept your refusal. Well then, I'll be investigating Gustavia's room next. Tch, I'm babysitting again. I wonder why he and Von Karma aren't investigating together. Well, yeah. Why isn't Bad like Gumshoe to Miles Edgeworth? Something like that. Instead of being on bad terms, it seems like they hardly know each other. Well, I guess it's easier to tamper with evidence if you're the only one who has knowledge of the facts. Or of how or where the evidence was found. It's easier to conceal something if you're the only one to know about it, if you don't tell about it to anyone. Mr. Edgeworth, now that we've got Von Karma's permission, we can continue investigating. Yes, his manner bothers me, but I am glad we can at least continue the investigation. Hold it, I also need to investigate this room. I don't want you disturbing the room. So you'll investigate. After me. What? Aren't you the detective in charge of this case? Why haven't you investigated this room yet? The detective in charge of the initial investigation was a close colleague of Von Karma. I came to take over for him, so I only got to his mansion just recently. So that's why he and Von Karma aren't investigating together. Detective Bad, will you allow us to investigate with you like before? In doing so, you'll be able to supervise us and also ensure we don't tamper with anything. You want me to watch you? You're a strange lawyer. I'll let you stick around. A little longer. Yeah, you did it, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you, Detective Bad. But if I decide you're holding up the investigation, you'll have to leave. Yes, I understand. Well then, let's begin the investigation. I can't believe this amazing castle is made entirely out of confectionery. I know, what a work of fantasy. It's like a fairy tale world. You like all this fairy tale stuff, don't you? Sorry, I got a bit too excited, didn't I? No, it's interesting to me since you're so enthusiastic about it, unlike my son. Your son? He's only in grade school, yet he prefers to read law books instead of fairy tales. I am worried that he won't be able to make any friends that he can talk to. Heh, what an interesting kid. I'd like to be his friend. Haha, I think you'd be more of an older brother to him. Heh, an older brother, huh? Well, I've got some growing up to do then. Yes, and that's why we have to continue with the investigation. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking crook and granny. The castle doors are open. When someone opens a door, they really should remember to close it afterwards. Right, Manny? Would he say that directly to Prosecutor Von Karma, though? I doubt it. Looks like there's some stuff inside. Let's see. Wait, I'll examine it. Stay out of the way. Shit, this fresh cream melts too easily. The cream is melting. A single touch can cause it to break. Seems like Detective Bat's shoes got covered in cream. Why were these objects kept inside the Candy Castle? If there's anything you want to investigate, you better speak up now. Two big rocks are placed here. It's like a storage room. Yeah, the inside of the Candy Castle isn't so dreamy. Hey, maybe they're raw gemstones. Who knew that there were such treasures hidden within the castle? No, looks like carpets to me. Maybe they're wait, aren't they meant to go on the towers on either side of the door? The underside of them seems to have an hexagonal shape to them. Seems like a rather careless way to handle treasure. It looks like there's something underneath the rocks. Seems to be, yeah, a pedestal attached to both of the rocks. That seems to go with the towers. Of course, it's a pedestal for displaying the gems. Well, in any case, this is an ordinary object. This pillar has a hexagonal recess. Looks like a pedestal, but it has nothing in it. A hexagonal recess, huh? I wonder what would have been put in there. A giant strawberry would fit with the fresh cream. Detective Bad, I don't think strawberries are hexagonal. No, but their pedestal could be. I was just hoping. Then I hope it's a banana. Yeah, then that would be the castle of the Banana King. Well, these two obviously go together, so might as well already piece these informations together. The rock's pedestal has a similar shape to the recesses on the castle's pillars. Perhaps the rock is meant to be placed on top of the pillars? One of these rocks could have been used as the murder weapon, maybe. Oh, that's right, they're both hexagonal. I wonder why they were hidden inside the castle, though. Is there anything else I can piece together from this? Nah. Nah, these two don't go together. Ah, crud. There are rolls of blue cloth here. Looks like there's 4 of them in all. They certainly don't look like desserts. Yeah. I don't know what the cloth is for. It almost seems like it was hidden here inside the castle. Also, the color of this cloth looks familiar somehow. Wasn't the victim wrapped in one of these? Yeah. Yup. Seems that way. Seems connected. The blue cloth and the rocks inside the castle. I wonder if they belong to Delicia. Delicia, those things in the castle, what are they used for? Those? I'm afraid I can't tell you. Looks like Von Karma is keeping her silent. Yeah, why am I not surprised? Eep, I've been found out. Oh, that was easy. He'll get mad at me if I talk. Prosecutor Von Karma doesn't intend on being upfront with his information. Oh, it's such a shame. We finally figured out where the rocks are supposed to go. Could it be that you're interested in my goods? Huh? Your goods? Those are my popular relaxation goods. You mean the rocks and the cloth? Yes, see, that's right. You see, they're not actually rocks, but special lamps made from rock salt. Actually, I kind of thought about that because we have rock salt lamps like that here in my house. Well, one really. It's like a pink kind of salt lamp that's hollow, and there's a light bulb inside. It's quite pretty when it's lit up. It gets even more exciting because this cloth also has an amazing secret. As soon as we showed interest in her goods, she became quite talkative. I've never tried. Because it's pink, I don't know if it's like a sodium chloride type of salt. It might be another type of salt. One type of salt that's pink is potassium chloride, and you're not meant to eat that one. So I don't want to risk it, you know. I mean, you wouldn't die from it, but it's not exactly very good if it's that type. Baddie, could you put everything up? It's not baddie, it's bad. So you won't do it. Is Baddie being a bad boy? How old is she anyway? Labby, are you done photographing this room? Yes, sir, I am. Then go help Delicia. Yes, sir, I'm on it. Thanks, I knew you were a good boy underneath, Baddie. Miss Delicious, that was amazing. You even persuaded Detective Bad. Thanks a lot, Baddie, and you too, Forensics. She even gave the Forensics a nickname. I think that's her way of showing she cares. What's so therapeutic about these things anyway? We don't have time for that now, Baddie. The show's about to begin. Forensics, finishing touches, please. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so where did the carpets go? Or, that cloth anyway. Wow, it's so beautiful. It really is. I wish my son could see this. Oi, I told you so, right? The 4 fairies and the curious candy castle was the theme of my work. It's so sparkly and cute, right? It seems like one of them is missing something. What? One of the fairies? Yeah, the one on the right. Is it the wings? Or is it the pointy ears that are missing? I can't really tell. The truth is, I had plans to unveil it during the contest. Well, I'm glad I got to show it to you boys. Huh? But it doesn't look like the rock salt lamps are lighting up. Huh? I wonder why. I think I'll need to examine the rocks and the fairies again. There was some kind of plug under the lamp. There's blood on one of them. I knew it. It's the murder weapon. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking crook and granny. It looks like both the lamps and the pillars are broken. Both of their light bulbs are broken. Maybe they were dropped on the floor. There's some sort of red stain on this lamp surface. What could it be, I wonder? The stain. Could it be... that smell? There's no mistaking it. It's a blood stain. Eh? That's a blood stain? Why is there a blood stain on this lamp? I wonder if this has something to do with the lamp bulb being broken. I should also take a look at the other lamp here. Hold on. The other lamp? So this is where Delicia originally intended to put the lamps. I don't get why she put them in the castle. Since they're broken and don't light up, maybe she decided to put them out of the way. If she wanted them out of the way, there are many other places to store them. It's like that old saying, hide the salt in the sugar bag. I think the saying goes, hide a tree in the forest. If Delicia intended to use these lamps as decorations during the contest, it creates a contradiction with that piece of evidence. I need to deduce the contradiction at the scene. I'm not sure what he means there. Do I have something in the court record? I don't know what to deduce, really. Well, beaten to death with the bloodstained rock salt lamp. There is evidence that the victim was beaten to death with the blunt object. What's more, there is a blood stain on one of the broken rock salt lamps. Could this lamp have been the murder weapon? You're right, it could have been used as a weapon. Labby, is the blood analysis on this rock salt lamp finished? Yes, sir, it finished just a few moments ago. The blood stain on that lamp belonged to the victim. You heard what he said. The murder weapon was hidden in Delicia's room. We need to consider her as one of the suspects as well. Let's have a look. I don't know what to deduce yet here, but let's have a look at the fairy. If I can. Or is it the cloth on top of the fairy that's missing? Unlike the other fairies, this one doesn't have a fluorescent cloth. Ah, okay. Yeah, because the one on the right seems to be missing its wings or the pointy ears. I couldn't really tell, but that was not it because I can't even examine that one. It's a cloth that's missing. Miss Delicious, it's not right to leave one out. I don't like it either, but one fluorescent cloth and a machine has gone missing. You've lost a cloth and a machine? What sort of machine is it? Oi, let me tell you, each piece of fluorescent cloth is hooked up to one of these machines. The machine is called a rainbow light device. Light is sent through the cable and into the cloth, which is made of optic fibers. Yeah, okay. Just fiddle around with the settings a bit and it will turn into all sorts of colors. When it glows red, it's like a raging inferno. And when it glows blue, you can almost feel the glittering cool ice. It's powered by a long-lasting battery that's resistant to changes in the temperature. That's an awfully detailed description of the object. I'm not very familiar with these kinds of devices. Mr. Edgeworth, she's saying it's a machine that transmits light to the special cloth. I see. It's amazing what they come up with these days. So one rainbow light device and one fluorescent cloth are missing. Well, the cloth, it's probably the one that the body was wrapped in. Yes, see, that's right. Where could they be? Wherever could they be? Hello again, welcome back, Senpai Trash. I'll have another thing for my throat. There we go. Bought more this afternoon because I think I'm gonna need them. Okay, there was something left to deduce from the castle, but I'm not sure what it is. Just got home, so it's honestly nice that you're streaming, even if you're a little late. Yeah, no problem. I'm glad you like it. I'm supposed to deduce something from here, but I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to. Oh wait, ah no, never mind. I thought I saw a cable over there to the right side, and it was missing on the other side of the rock lamp here. Or maybe...
Eureka!
Look at this, don't you think it's strange? I think what's strange is your deduction. Yeah, okay, that's not it. Oh, wait. If your brain isn't working right, then it's due to the lack of sugar. I'll sell you one of my lollipops for $2. That's an expensive lollipop. That sounds a tad high. Is there no evidence of a contradiction with the castle decorations? Yeah, actually, something came to mind. Actually, I thought about it earlier, that the cloth and the rock salt, well, these are two things that can't be eaten. So, how is it that she was using them? And then when it comes to deducing it from the castle, it didn't really strike me. Ah, crap. I guess you could argue that salt is, edible, but, not the light bulb inside and stuff. Or the wiring or whatever.
Eureka!
Detective Bat, please read the contest leaflet. Any decorations not made from desserts are prohibited. Huh? These rock salt lamps and the fluorescent cloth go against the rules. So maybe that's why they were hidden in the castle. Yeah, maybe she just removed them because she knew that she would have been disqualified if they were seen. I wonder about that. I think we should investigate further into Delicia's actions. Is there more that I can connect using logic now? The cream is melting. Nah, these two things don't seem to be going together. Miss Delicious, you don't seem as energetic as you were earlier. Delicia, can I just ask, did something happen with Von Karma? Yes, see, nothing of the sort. But you just said, yes, see. That yes, see just now was only a greeting. You're a cute boy, I like you. What's your first name? It's Raymond, but... Well, Ray, I think you'll make a good man of yourself someday. Ray. How about that? I think you have a way with British ladies. She's a little different from my image of a lady. Why don't we listen to what she has to say? Could you tell me about your actions during the contest? Yes, see, we began making desserts for the contest at around 10 o'clock. Basically, I was in here making my desserts the whole time. At 1:30, I joined the afternoon tea for about an hour or so. Afternoon tea. It's a social occasion where conversation is had over black tea and cakes. So it's pretty much a tea party. Well, I suppose. Huh, oh, Greggy, you're a smart boy, aren't you? When did I become Greggy? Where was the afternoon tea held? Gardens outside of the fountain patio. It's our customary break time during the contest. It's always held at the same time. Today there were just 3 of us who took part. Jeffy, Katie, and me. Since Jeffy had already finished his creations, he was there from beginning to end. Icy and Gusty didn't join in because they hadn't finished their desserts yet. So everyone other than Mr. Dover and Mr. Gustavia participated. Yes, actually, I hadn't finished my dessert yet either. I just wanted to try some of Jeffy's handmade pastries and Katie's fresh brewed tea. So after I had eaten my fill, I returned before everyone else. During the contest, did you enter any of the other contestants' rooms? What are you saying? We found your fingerprints on the desserts at the crime scene. Eep! You found them! She's not even gonna try to deny it. Are you admitting that you went to the scene of the murder? I admit it. But I'm not the murderer. It's the honest truth. Please hear me out. What were you doing in Mr. Master's room? The truth is, I was studying his desserts. Studying. Because Jeffy's so talented at making sweets. Well, nobody was in his room at the time, so I just decided to study his works for a bit. But if you were just looking, you wouldn't have left your fingerprints behind. Yes, see, it's natural that I left fingerprints on the desserts. For the sake of research, I ate some of his desserts. Isn't that like stealing food? It couldn't be. The one who wrecked Mr. Master's room was. I'm sorry. It wasn't my intention to vandalize the room, but I did eat a few parts of the desserts in his room. I secretly ate little bits and pieces so Jeffy wouldn't find out. Those are pretty obvious bits and pieces. So, did you eat the ship stand as well? Yes, see, I did. That's pretty stupid. Chocolate chip broke because of you. Eep, I'm sorry. So the reason she left the afternoon tea early was to preserve her appetite. But you've got to believe me on this. I'm not the murderer. Her actions are sufficiently suspicious, but I won't press on it yet. Looks like this caught your eye. The way this cloth works. I wonder if it's okay for me to tell you about it. Sorry, I can't talk about this cloth. What? That was strange. I wonder if Von Karma told her to stay quiet about it. Oi, that thing you've got there is rather cute, Craigie, but the color is rather unappealing. Now if I were to coat it with fresh cream... Stop it! No, it's not so much because I stayed up, because I also get up late in the morning, so it's not really a lack of sleep in this case. It's just what I've been doing all afternoon outside that's been a bit taxing. The color is rather unappealing. Okay, never mind. Is there something left to, Nah, I'll be fine. Don't worry. I already feel a bit less drowsy than I did when I started streaming. I don't yawn nearly as much. I'm a bit more into it and a bit more invested in the game now, because it's a bit more interactive, so that keeps me awake. Seems these two pieces of information aren't connected. Ah, crap. Seems I was a bit too hasty in jumping to conclusions. Or these two? She broke the rules and she studied desserts? Ah, no, okay, never mind. It's alright, it's alright. Oh, have I talked to him yet? Don't turn around. Don't turn around. If you do, you're only gonna eat that castle. This forensics officer seems to be on a diet. Can't I have a look at this? I'm looking for more stuff that I may have forgotten to check. There's a burner and some chemicals over here. They were probably used to make desserts. What are these chemicals? The writing on the labels say number 1, punch out, and number 9, suffering. Are they poisons? No, they are both used to make desserts. Seems to be artificial flavoring and coloring. Quite tired yourself, been out all day, so that's why it's so nice to just sit back and watch some streams, and even better if it's this game. It's so comfy to watch. I do try to make it comfy by reading everything, for one thing, so that it's more comfortable to sit and watch. Punch Out is a catchy name for a fruit punch essence. Tch, very misleading. What bothers me is what suffering stands for. There's a cover on the wall, just like in Mr. Maester's room. Let's open it up. The room temperature is 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and the lights are set to green. Gustavia said that 50 degrees Fahrenheit is the ideal temperature for fresh cream. This room's temperature is too high, way too high. This is intriguing. How come she didn't know? Isn't she a professional? It's a cute candy fairy sitting on a tree stump. The cloth and the back, along with the decorations, really give it a magical atmosphere. When you look at it, it almost feels like you're spellbound. What we need to look for is the hidden truth of the real world. Don't be fooled by the fairies. Yeah, because for someone who made such a cool-looking castle, to make such a rookie mistake... hold on. Maybe I can connect some of these now. High room temperature and the fragile desserts, yeah. Okay. The reason the fresh cream is so fragile is due to the temperature in this room. So my shoes got creamed because the room temperature is set at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Speaking of which, when you opened the castle door, the doorknob didn't break. Yeah, it was stronger than I thought. Maybe it's not edible either. Strong? A dessert? Detective Bad, could you have a closer look at that doorknob? It's also made of something else. It would seem this doorknob isn't a dessert. Doesn't seem much like a professional when she breaks into other rooms and eats their stuff and uses things that aren't made of desserts. Yeah, is she an imposter or something? Are just plastic molds coated in fresh cream? Hey, then this isn't a dessert piece at all. Maybe the whole castle is like a big, Yeah, it would seem they're just fake desserts covered in fresh cream. Delicia made fake desserts. What are her true intentions? Infiltrate the place? Maybe I can ask her about this now. Do those two go together? Ah, no, okay. Never mind. Well, she was studying the desserts of other people, and she was making fakes herself, so I did wonder if maybe these two would go together. Let's see if maybe I can ask her more questions now. Hasn't the music changed too? No. I'm still missing something. Is it in terms of logic? Ah, okay, these two that went together, okay. Using decorations that were against the rules and making fake desserts. A lot of Delicia's actions seem suspicious. Yeah, it doesn't seem like she's aiming to be the world's greatest pastry chef, so she has other reasons for being in here, I suppose. Also, the temperature of this room is way too high. Is there a reason for that? Well, at least if she was going to make fakes, she might want to keep the temperature down. Like, she didn't even know about that or something. I wonder. I think we should ask Delicia directly. Maybe now I can ask her more about it. Ah, there we go. There's something new that unlocked. Delicia, why is the room temperature set to 68 degrees Fahrenheit? The cold doesn't agree with me, plus it's bad for the body. This figure doesn't just maintain itself, you know. Naturally, as a lady, I want to look young forever. I wonder, how old is Miss Delicious? How old Miss Delicious really is? Raymond, a true gentleman, never asks a woman her age. Who are you, Professor Layton? This room is mainly filled with cream, and 50 degrees Fahrenheit is the recommended temperature for preserving fresh cream. What, really? Now it's all gone to waste. It looks like Miss Delicious didn't know. Delicia seems lacking in the basic knowledge of dessert making. Or maybe she was simply infiltrating the place because she wanted to learn how to make real desserts from first-class pastry chefs, yeah. The fake desserts and the rule violations, and now her lack of basic knowledge. Looks like she keeps many secrets. Well, yeah, she was studying them because she was lacking knowledge. Delicia's knowledge in the art of dessert making is lacking in fundamental areas. And she claimed she went into Mr. Master's room in order to study his desserts. These actions and ideas are not fitting of someone aiming to be the world's greatest pastry chef. Yeah, they don't sound like the words of a pro. It's like she doesn't even realize it, or maybe she isn't a real pastry chef. Perhaps she had some other intention. It's possible that she didn't go into the room to study desserts. So then, are you saying Miss Delicious is the criminal? We can't say that for sure yet, but I know she's hiding something from us. Ah, okay. Investigation complete. Good. That's enough investigating. We found much more than I expected. And yet something from before still bothers me. Prosecutor Von Karma must have found the murder weapon in this room. So then, why did he let Delicia be? Firstly, I must ascertain Von Karma's true motives. Is it possible that he hid the rock lamps and stuff like that inside himself, like hoping we wouldn't find it? Although that would have been a pretty feeble attempt, so I don't think that's the case. Firstly, I must ascertain Von Karma's true motives. To win! That's always his motive, to win in court. Detective Bat, I would like to ask Prosecutor Von Karma something. If this was supposedly the last case before he died, are we going to go to court at one point? Is this gonna start playing more like a Phoenix Wright game, maybe, just for this case? I wonder. I've also got business with him and Delicia there too. What's the idea, Batty? Don't glare at me like that. It seems Detective Bad also has his doubts about Delicia and Von Karma. Delicia, would you come with us for a moment? Yes, see, that's fine. What for? We have to find Von Karma. There are some things we need to talk about. Prosecutor Von Karma, we need to talk about the case. From the look on your face, I assume you found the murder weapon. Yes, we discovered the murder weapon in Delicia's room. It would seem Mr. Master isn't the only suspect in this case. Bah, that's not true. Where the murder weapon was found does not change the fact that Master is the culprit. You'd like that, wouldn't you? As long as I am here. Why is Von Karma so sure of himself? Well then, aren't you going to explain why the murder weapon was in Delicia's room? Naturally. If you wish to know, I'll tell you. In order to pin the crime on Delicia, Master used the rock salt lamp to kill the victim. He then deposited the murder weapon in Delicia's room. If he had left the murder weapon at the crime scene, Master would have been the one suspected. He couldn't move the body, but it was easy to move the murder weapon. Ergo, there would be no evidence pointing to a specific culprit at the crime scene. Mr. Master took the rock salt lamp? Precisely. I carried out the investigation myself. There can be no room for doubt. Do you have evidence that he moved it? That will not be necessary. Yeah, he's always saying like, oh no, that's not necessary. What? And for some reason, judges tend to agree with him. Like, oh no, evidence for my assertions are completely unnecessary. If you have an objection, say it. I had that animation. Classic. Do you think a mere defense attorney can break my logic? In order to pin the crime on Delicia, Master used a rock salt lamp to kill the victim. He then deposited the murder weapon in Delicia's room. So you say, if he had left the murder weapon at the crime scene, Master would have been the one suspected. But where did the crime really take place anyway? Ah, where's my stylus? Ah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, the body was found in one of those cloths, so part of the treasure chest and the bloodstain. Each of the desserts in Mr. Master's room have one part missing. Before the ship's fall, the treasure chest's lid was closed. Who took the picture again? Wasn't it that woman who keeps calling everyone Monsieur this, Monsieur that? Was this really taken in at the same location? Well, hold on, because I'm not sure that with what I'm about to do.
Objection!
No, okay, this is false. I think that evidence can break my logic. Maybe not that piece of evidence, but there would be no evidence pointing to a specific culprit at the crime scene. Well, this is where the cloth might go. Ah, there we go, okay. Now that makes more sense. It's true that the murder weapon and bloodstains disappeared from the vicinity. However, there was still one piece of incriminating evidence left behind. Have a look at this photograph. It was taken when the body was first discovered. I still don't understand how the blood would go away. You're actually a bit curious? I'm playing this on my Wii U. I modded my Wii U, and this is the, well, fan-translated patched ROM injected in the Wii U Virtual Console Nintendo DS game. Because it's easier for me to capture that way. Plus, for anything that involves using a touch screen, it's better to use actually to emulate the game on a something that has a touch screen, and the Wii U is perfect for this. Hi, Jeff. Sorry, Rudy, but what are you saying? Contradicts the evidence. Hi, Jeff. You're the suspect in this one, Jeff. I'm sorry to say. Doesn't it remind you of the fluorescent cloth from Delicia's room? Yeah, Jeff Master is the name of the suspect. E by fluorescent cloth was at the crime scene. Ah, fluorescent cloth. You, just what part of this cloth is fluorescent? I guess Von Karma doesn't know about this cloth's secret. It looks like a normal cloth at first glance, but if you use this rainbow light device, you can make it glow. Yes, this is in the past. Yeah, this is Miles Edgeworth's daddy. Yeah, that's why Von Karma is here, yeah. Objection! Prosecutor Von Karma seems a little surprised. I don't think it was the cloth ability to glow that surprised him. One sheet of this fluorescent cloth is currently unaccounted for. Now I'd like you to look at the color of the cloth in this photo. Don't you think it looks like the color of the fluorescent cloth before it's been lit up? Ray and Giovanni? Giovanni? What Giovanni? Ah, because you think he looks like Giovanni from Pokemon. Yeah, you mentioned that yesterday, yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's coming back to me now. Don't you think it looks like the color of the fluorescent cloth before it's been lit up? Well, it's not about to say you're right. Both the rock salt lamp and the fluorescent cloth originally belonged to Delicia. Wouldn't it be natural to assume that this cloth was used to wrap the body? Prosecutor Von Karma. I believe the present conditions give us much reason to suspect Delicia. Yeep. Oh, nice move. She caught it with her foot. Hold it, Greggy. Do you really suspect me? I don't yet know if you are the culprit, but it is true that you're hiding something, am I right? That's... Objection! So, you're saying that the murder weapon and the cloth were originally from Delicia's room? What's so funny? Just as I expected from you. The murder weapon and the cloth are not from our room. How unfortunate for you. What does he mean? Before the contest began, Master noticed our violation of the rules. He confiscated the cloth and the rock salt lamp and kept them in his room for safekeeping. He is Giovanni. Well, the victim was not seen as he stayed locked up in his room after the contest had begun. The only one who could have unlocked the locked rooms was Jeff Master! You! You did it, Jeff! And the murder weapon, the rock salt lamp, was being kept in Master's room. This should be the decisive evidence in proving Master's guilt. Defense attorney! You've lost to me before you even had a chance to stand in court. Yeah, what's this? What? Was all our investigating for nothing? It's delicious. Why did you tell us about your confiscated items? Well, Manny said that looks suspicious if I did. Prosecutor Von Karma? And it's true, you all suspect me, don't you? How clumsy of you, defense attorney. Delicia is cute, you think? Von Karma, so that's why you let us investigate Delicia's room. And in your clumsiness, there's one more thing I need to inform you of. 2 sets of fingerprints were found on the murder weapon. 2? Yes, they belong to Jeff Master and Delicia's cones. No other fingerprints were found. After Master killed Dover with the confiscated rock salt lamp. So, let me get this straight. He had the rock salt lamp dusted for prints, then put it back inside the castle, and I had to go out of my way to have the blood analyzed, and he didn't, because I guess the forensics would have told me, oh yeah, Manfred Von Karma already had the blood analyzed or something. So he went out of his way to have it dusted, but not the blood tested? Come on. That doesn't make any sense. There's a big misunderstanding. I am Jeff the Apprentice. He foolishly concealed the murder weapon bearing his own fingerprints in its owner's room. I don't even need to prove my case in court. I have more than enough perfect evidence to prove Master's guilt.
Objection!
Hold it, I still have some doubts about the fluorescent cloth found in Mr. Master's room. Bah, irrelevant. After disposing of the body, he intended to return it to Delicia's room. I don't have enough information to refute Von Karma's reasoning. Von Karma is a duck. Alright. Nothing left to say. If your job is done, leave this place. Not a duck, but, you know. I can't give up yet. We've wasted enough time as it is. Bad. Take them away. There are still some doubts left in our investigation. Detective Bad. What's the meaning of this? It's not my nature to leave any doubts behind. There is still one piece of evidence that has yet to be identified. That's right, there are still the traces someone left behind. Bah, talk about your doubts as much as you want later, but this, my dear attorney, is none of your business.
Objection!
No, I also have some doubts about one piece of evidence. It's likely that I have the same doubts Detective Bad as. What? This is the piece of evidence left in Mr. Master's room that has yet to be identified. Let me see. Is he talking about the prince or this? It's either one or the other, I'd say. Well, this one is the most mysterious of both. You play as this cool man? Yeah, Gregory Edgeworth, yeah. Somebody left gloved finger marks on one of Mr. Master's desserts. If these were the killer's finger marks, then it's possible that the killer also didn't leave any fingerprints on the murder weapon. How did you know the state of the crime scene? I gave them permission to investigate. Objection! Bad, what possessed you to let the defense attorney into the crime scene? This is bad for me, can't you see? I don't recall you telling me not to let them in. Bah, such impudence. You'd best remember, Bad. Your salary review depends on me. Since when? I mean, how does it work in Japan that prosecutors decide of the salary review of police officers? This is bad for me. Spelled that way. This isn't good for Bad. I'm so glad I have a kind boss like Mr. Edgeworth. Your salary review depends on how you perform here. I'm surprised at what a mere attorney like you managed to uncover in such a short time. Yeah, so basically, you know this too, but you chose to overlook it, or not bring it up anyway, because this wouldn't be too good for you. But anyway, however, it's possible those finger marks were Master's own doing, because he always wore gloves while cooking.
Objection!
Do you have evidence that those finger marks were left by Master? Oops, sorry, no, this is my fault. And moreover, there are still a few points of suspicion surrounding Delicia. No, this isn't Japan. It's Japanifornia. Yeah, because in those localized versions, things are always like moved to take place in the United States. But anyway. Oh, you still haven't given up on that? Greggy, you still suspect me? I've already apologized for stealing a few bites. I don't want to suspect you, however, I can't easily trust those who tell lies. You must still be hiding something. Greggy is a bully! Don't you know the temperature fresh cream must be kept at? You call yourself a dessert chef, but you lack even the most basic knowledge. I'm sorry for my lack of knowledge. In your case, it's not even about the lack of knowledge. In truth, you don't even know how to make desserts, do you? Defense attorney, stop trying to force your own reasoning. In a court of law, the evidence tells all. If you say the witness is lying, show it with evidence. We're not in court yet, but very well. Which one does? The fake desserts. I guess what else could it be? The only things Delicia made were those that broke the rules. Yeah, Von Trashma, do you have evidence that those are Jeff's fingerprints? The lamp and cloth that broke the rules were being held in Master's room. There is no way the witness could have returned them to her room.
Objection!
Those were not the only fake desserts she made. What? Her desserts may look like something out of a fairy tale at first glance because they're covered in cream, but in reality they are nothing but mannequins decorated with cream. Yeah, right, there you go. Apart from the cream, they're all fake. Come on, Von Trashma, you didn't notice that? This is not something one aiming to become the world's greatest pastry chef would do. Is this true bad? Yes, my shoes can attest to that. Will that be enough to convince Prosecutor Von Karma? I doubt it. Once he sees what Delicia has done, he'll have no choice but to be convinced. Delicia, the fact that your actions could lead to you being a suspect is no laughing matter. I didn't murder! Isn't it time you told us the whole truth? Who are you, and why were you indulging yourself in another contestant's work? Or maybe it's just that you wanted some free grub, some free taste of a master's food. She's not exactly slim, so, yes, see, I understand. My favorite thing I've seen on the whole Japanifornia was a short comic where Phoenix is telling Apollo to come eat his hamburgers, and it's sushi. Yes, see, I understand. The truth is, I'm not really a dessert chef, like I led you to believe. I am actually a pharmacist. A pharmacist of all things. That's a completely different occupation. It's no wonder he couldn't hide his surprise. Why is a pharmacist like you participating in this contest? I just love eating desserts. Yeah, so she wanted to have a free taste, like I said. Isn't it? I joined because I thought I'd be able to eat some of Jeffy's desserts. I never thought I'd end up making it to the finals. Even Prosecutor Von Karma is at a loss for words. So that's the real reason why you entered the contest. Yes, see, as expected, Jeffy's desserts were oh so good. So the gloved finger marks on the picture frame were your doing? Eep, no way! I never wore gloves. Delicia's fingerprints were found on Mr. Master's chocolates. Yes, so she must not have been wearing gloves at that time. So it is true that she wasn't wearing gloves. Yes, see, exactly. You do believe me, Greggy. Objection! I want that kind of luck she has. What's that, Jeff? Is your face stuffed with nothing but desserts? Eep, sorry, Manny. I think it's her belly that's stuffed. Were Master's desserts all that you hate? Actually, no. After the afternoon tea, I also ate Icy's desserts. Eat your hamburgers, Apollo. Yes, that's the one. You mean you entered the victim's room? Yes, see, exactly. The room was empty after all. Well, I guess this is why it's called localization and not simply translation. But I kinda wish this was not felt like it is necessary, you know? I mean, localizing everything in another country so that people would not be like taken aback by the cultural differences, you know? Perhaps the victim was already dead by then, but my first bite tasted way too salty and I couldn't eat it. So I ate a delicious star-shaped dessert that was nearby. Miss Delicious, you really are a glutton. It is rare you see a woman with this kind of appetite, but I kind of wish that this was just a translation. I mean, I can understand the reason, but still. That's all I did. Greggy, Manny, everyone, I'm sorry I caused you trouble. Now that you told us the truth, everything's fine. There's no need to apologize. This does not mean that your testimony is trustworthy. I'll be investigating the victim's room after this. Only then will I decide if your testimony is true. Prosecutor Von Karma, I'd like to go as well. I also need to ascertain whether my reasoning up until now has been correct. I'll let you follow, but I have no intention of letting you investigate. That's enough for me. What is the meaning of this? Huh? What's that? What happened? Yeah, but because of this, we get such amazing things as come eat your hamburgers, Apollo. Well, I guess it wouldn't be quite as memorable otherwise, yeah, is what you're saying. The desserts adorning the victim's room had disappeared without a trace. What this the true killer's doing? A body that was hidden inside the dessert and a murder weapon that was moved? Further investigation would be required to arrive at the truth of this case. To be continued. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, please. I'd like to save ya. Oh, we're back in the present, it seems. Oops, I guess I went on for a little too long there. Something like that happened? I had no idea. None of the case files I read went into such detail. Well, I doubt there would be anything in there that would be inconvenient to the prosecution, especially with that Von Karma at the head. How did the investigation go from there? The desserts had disappeared from the victim's room, so the investigation hit a rough patch. Thanks to that, it took about a whole year before a verdict was handed down. One whole year? This was before the whole 3-day pre-trial system was established. Trials didn't need to finish in the short amount of time that they do now. I see. Did they ever find out why the victim's desserts disappeared? Well, kinda. His dessert was like a candy ice sculpture made from sherbet. Ah, yeah, that was mentioned before. Godo? Still, I feel they do a great job on the newest Ace Attorney since it's back in time, and they travel from Japan to England. Like the Great Ace Attorney sub-series. Godo is the final boss in the first Ace Attorney game. No, not in the first one. The second or third? Which one was it again? I think it's the third. It's the one with Dahlia Hawthorne in it. Because I think his real identity is revealed in that final case where there is Dahlia Hawthorne and her sister that's like a priest or something like that in a sort of a temple in the mountain covered in snow, from what I remember. I was confused from our conversation yesterday. I thought that Godo was Von Karma Daddy. No. And when I said that he looks sturdy at most, I was referring to Godo. Ah, okay. I thought you were referring to Ray or something. I can't quite recall how it went yesterday. Since it was made from ice, the general consensus was that it had melted. However, that might not quite be the case. What do you mean? This museum used to be Mr. Master's mansion, the stage of the Is7 Incident. And in this very place, they were exhibiting the Sherbet Salon from 18 years ago. The victim's dessert? Yeah, though it could be just a replica of the original, that's why Uncle Ray had to come today to check it out. And for your old man, too. Now then, let's gonna move on and check out the room. I'm pretty sure it's over in the Winter Palace. I have no mansion. This is clearly a misunderstanding. Here I go. I'm innocent, I tell ya. I believe the second game was Von Karma's daughter. Names are fitting me today. Yeah, Francisca. Yeah, and Godot would be in the third. I'm almost sure of it. And he shows up in multiple cases throughout the game, but his real identity is revealed at the end. The Winter Palace should be... it's locked up. That's odd. They've already opened the museum, so Godot must be third game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of it, yeah. Mr. Shields, according to the pamphlet we received at the entrance, the Winter Palace is over here. I love Ray's surprised pose. Yeah, the design of it. Really, I could have sworn it was this one. Alright, let's scoot. We gotta confirm the truth of what happened 18 years ago. Hey, I recognize these people over there at the left. They are also from a previous Phoenix Wright game. That might have been Injustice for All, I think. With, that guy that had a magnifying glass for a monocle. Yeah, what was it? He was pretending to be a great thief or something like that, and she rides a motorcycle or something like that, from what I recall. This might be just a cameo, though. I'd be surprised if they really have a... Yeah, that was either in the second or third game. I can't quite recall which one it was. Luke, Angry K noises. Was that Luke? I can't recall. Look at me, yeah. Yeah, the one with the monocle that's like a magnifying glass. Yeah, that's Look at me, yeah. Yeah, it's from that case. Anyway, yeah. So that must be Justice for All, I think. I think it was in that one. That case. Man, it's still as cold as ever. Uncle Ray's gonna freeze solid. It seems the Winter Palace lives up to its name. It's like a freezer in here. Although, come to think of it, no, that might not have been Justice for All, because I think... I'm not completely sure anymore now. Well, anyway, don't take my word for it. With the light dimmed like this, it's almost as if the room itself is made of ice. I think the control panel for the room temperature is on the back wall. Miles, why don't you check what temperature it's set at for me? Uncle Ray's gonna give the curator a piece of his mind later. It's way too cold in here. Very well, but if you want to look around the room a bit, feel free to stay or freeze to your heart's content. How is that gonna help the case that took place in the past? I'll get the camera ready. I want to take some pictures of this place. There are quite a lot of cameos in Ace Investigations. Yeah, in the first Ace Attorney Investigations game, there were also a few cameos happening. Like that fat guy who writes the scenario for the Steel Samurai TV series. He has a cameo in one scene. He can be seen in the airport or something like that, from what I remember. But I don't remember his name. I don't have a good memory for games, character names, I'm afraid. I want to take some pictures of this place and show it to your old man. Understood. Hello? Well, how about this? I'll yell out, Mask, the mask is here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's it. Her man pretended to be Mask the Mask or something. Yes, it's me. I am Mask the Mask. My favorite, I think, is in the first game. It's Phoenix and Maya in a boat. Yeah, that happened too, yeah. Although I think when I first played it, I didn't notice. And someone had to tell me about it because I noticed other cameos, but not that one, I think. Good. Wait, Ronnie, if you say that, you'll get arrested. Come on, if we don't plan properly, we won't be able to sell it. What are these two talking about? There are two sculptures displayed here. These sculptures are replicas of the deserts that vanished 18 years ago. Impressive, huh? These sculptures made of ice. Yes, my father never got to see these ice sculptures, and now, 18 years later, I'm standing before them. Miles, sorry to bother you while you're deep in thought. Could you turn this way a little? Like this? Yes, yes, like that. Mr. Shields, you're not. Say cheese. Mr. Shields, please, don't take pictures of me. Hehehe, sorry, my bad. I just wanted to make sure the camera works okay. That camera looks quite old. Yeah, well, that's because it's an old-fashioned camera. A Polaroid? Yeah. Yeah, it's cute. You know, an instant camera. It automatically develops the photos after shooting. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. He always looks annoyed. Yeah, I know, though I've never used one. You're quite the know-it-all. You really are the old man's son. Could you move a bit? I want to take some more photos of the room. His face is taken on an unusually serious expression. He's probably thinking about the Is7 incident. Man, I snapped a bunch, and they're already developed, see? He shoved them in my face before I could reply. Well, I have one more question for you, Mr. Know-It-All. Do you know what these two sculptures represent? They're sculptures of Taurus and Gemini from the winter constellations. Oh, bingo! Not bad, Miles. That's probably why they call this room the Winter Palace. Uncle Ray is feeling generous today, so I'll give you a copy of this photo too. Thanks. Winter Palace photo data jotted down in my organizer. Are these replicas of the constellation deserts that were made 18 years ago? Yeah, it looks like these two sculptures are also made out of sherbet. Uncle Ray's only seen the real sculptures in photos, but these sculptures look like the real deal. This was what you wanted to show me? Yeah, I think your old man would have wanted you to see it as well. I'm sorry, Uncle Ray didn't have the courage to come here alone. Don't apologize. This was a good opportunity to learn about my father's case. That means a lot to me. So you want me to take another commemorative photo? No thanks. Mr. Shields, I can't find the temperature control panel. Ah, right. They keep it where it's hard to find. Just one moment. Isn't that one of those salt lamps at the back? It's locked. Makes sense. They wouldn't want the guests changing the temperature themselves. According to the pamphlet, the Winter Palace has a temperature of 27 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that is cold. Uncle Ray is going to freeze to death. Uncle Ray didn't have the courage to come here alone. My heart. Guess I'll need to find someone to share body heat with. Preferably a beautiful lady. Oh, are you trying to freeze me to death as well with those cold eyes? Of course not. This rock salt lamp is lighting up the constellation chart. I see, Gemini and Taurus are constellations that can be seen in the winter. Since this is the Winter Palace, perhaps that explains the winter constellations made of sherbet. According to the pamphlet, the other palaces are made of crystal. But for the Summer Palace, I think it'd be more fitting if it were made out of shaped ice. Well, no, that would make it exactly the same as this room. A giant block of ice is being displayed here. It appears to be quite heavy. No, the inside must be hollow. On the surface, there is an image of the stars and a written description. The Pleiades, also known as the Seven Sisters, a star cluster that comprises a part of Taurus. But for all these stars to be grouped together as a cluster, the ways of the ancient people must have been very imprecise. I should have checked the kid to the right, because he might have been a cameo character from another game too. Alrighty, now that I've got some pictures of this room, let's check out the other palaces. Might as well see them all since we're already here. I suppose you're right. Ah! That yell just now. It came from the fountain patio. Let's go, Miles. I know this guy. Him again. Who is he gonna pretend to be this time? Like Loris or whatever? Zodiac Art Gallery Fountain Patio. There's someone passed out on the floor, and that man there is... Loris Donim? Or something like that? The name that he gave himself during his artist period. Larry, what are you doing here? No, I'm getting ahead of myself. What exactly happened here? Oh no, not him. Larry Butts. When something smells, it's usually the butts. Edgy! I saw something that no one should ever have to see again! Larry, calm down. Why is there someone passed out here? I didn't do anything. It just fell down all of a sudden. This man, he can't be. Excuse me, but what is the matter here? You can't raise such a ruckus in the museum, boys. The scent is... Seems like he's still breathing, but this is a bad situation. Miles, it's not safe here. Get everyone out of here. Everyone, get away from that room right now. There's poison gas coming out of it. Oh boy. Mr. Shields, how is the victim? It looks like you breathed in a little too much of that poison gas. He's still unconscious. According to the doctor in the ambulance, there are no external injuries or any other wounds. Thanks to our fortunate timing, we were able to save him before he was too far gone. But he's not out of the woods yet. He's currently being treated by a specialist in the infirmary. I see. Mr. Shields, is he an acquaintance of yours? Yeah, you could say that. He's Dane Gustavia. He was involved in the Is7 incident. The pastry chef? So he was involved in the case 18 years ago. At least the other guy is doing alright. He's a friend of yours, Miles. Yes, you could say that. It is fortunate you were not hurt, Larry. What's you could say that supposed to mean, Edgy? How could you treat a childhood friend like that? That's just cruel. And also, when I'm dressed like this, I'm called Loris Donim, you know? Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, that much. And this is from that case in the mountain with, the mother of Maya Faye. No, actually... Well, now actually, I'm not quite sure in which game it was. Whether it was in Justice for All or Trials and Tribulations. I think it was Trials and Tribulations. At least I think so. And also, when I'm dressed like this, yeah, I'm called Loris Donim, you know. So don't call me Larry. It's Loris. I honestly hate Larry. If it would just talk instead of lying and do its stupid things, I feel myself aging whenever he talks. I don't know. I suppose he's meant to be some kind of comic relief. Yeah, third game, yeah. Third game. This man is Larry Butts. He's nothing but trouble, but he's been one of my friends since grade school. Some time ago, he awakened to the calling of art and assumed the alias Loris Donim. But a Butts by any other name would smell just as much. Really, you two are childhood friends. I better report that to your old man, too. I'm sure it will bring him joy. He was always worried about you not being able to make friends. With the bullshit bridge logic, yeah. Good for you, Edgy. Aren't you glad to have a bosom buddy like me? My father was worried about something like that, but anyway. Yeah, there was some weird logic about the bridge and how a body was moved from like a meditation cavern or something like that back to the temple over a big gap with a river at the bottom or something. It was a bit of a far-fetched explanation as to how the body was moved in that case or something like that. How many times do I have to tell you, Edgy? I'm Loris. What are you doing in a place like this? Swinging a corpse from one side to the other, yeah. I didn't like very much that explanation, but it's what the game went for. Yikes, don't glare at me when you talk. Larry drew it and said she was flying, yeah. And he saw it upside down or something too, so it seems like she was falling from the bridge or something like that. Because he was lying on his back and looking at the scene and seeing it upside down or something like that. It's been a while, so I don't quite remember all the details. So are you going to tell me? Isn't it obvious? I've come here to study art. I'm going to make Mandy on a date, to take Mandy on a date here, so I was just doing some scouting beforehand. Aren't you just using art as an excuse to go on a date? Not bad, Laurice. Maybe you can introduce some pretty girls to me next time. Oh, now you're talking my language, dude. Yeah, these two guys go well together, I think. I think I'm getting a headache. By the way, Laurice, did you notice anything strange when you found the victim? Nah, not really. Yeah, that case was just odd. Nothing that would make you say, I saw something that no one should ever have to see. Oh yeah, that. I was just surprised when I saw that old dude fall down out of nowhere like that. I didn't do anything this time for once. Is that anything to brag about? Visitors, we wish to deeply apologize for the disturbance. I am the curator of this museum. My name is Kathryn Hall. She's also one of the people involved in the Is7 incident. Hello there, Miss Kate. For someone who's aged 18 years, she doesn't seem like she's changed much. Monsieur Shields, thank you for your continued assistance. Uncle Ray is 10 times better than Larry. I do prefer Uncle Ray if I have to choose, yeah. She was the woman we saw at the reception, so she's the curator here. We apologize for the inconvenience, especially since... Will he ask for a hug this time? Maybe he will. We apologize for the inconvenience, especially since it's the opening day. No, you don't have to apologize for a thing, Miss Kate. I almost forgot. Let me introduce you to someone. This is Miles Edgeworth. He's Gregory Edgeworth's son. Oh, Monsieur Edgeworth is... That's a nice animation she has there. Oh, how wonderful! I meet the sun after 18 years. It is an honor to meet you, defense attorney, Miles Edgeworth. He's not a defense attorney, actually. What, Rudy? You lied to me? What is it? He isn't Von Trashma's son? Who? I didn't tell you that Ray was Von Trashma's son. I told you that Franziska Von Karma was his daughter. And Ray isn't Gregory's son. You mix up everything I say. It is an honor to meet you, defense attorney Miles Edgeworth. Wow, that was amazing. You still got that golden voice, Miss Kate. Actually, I'm a prosecutor. Oh, so you are a prosecutor. My most sincere apologies, Monsieur Edgeworth. Kate didn't age a day. Her hair just grew, but Jeff Masters got old. Yeah. Katie, could I get your autograph right here, pretty please? In a sketchbook for kids. So Edgeworth is Gregory's son. Right, yeah. Yeah. And Franziska Von Karma is Manfred Von Karma's daughter. The whip lady is Von Karma's daughter. Why do you want her autograph? Because she's a pretty lady. Don't tell me you don't know who she is. My, you really don't keep up with the entertainment news, do you, Miles? What? What is this unbearable atmosphere? She's a superstar actress who's been in tons of musicals and movies. She's a great singer, too. Currently, I am the curator of this museum. I have already retired from the stage. I finished filming my role for my last movie a few days ago. My co-stars also said they would come here once I opened the doors. And here you are, Monsieur Artiste. I return this to you. Thanks a bunch, Katie. I'll treasure it for the rest of my life. Well, looks like me and Laurie share the same interests. Yeah, in the fairer sex. So I gathered. Larry, you said you're here to study art. Why don't you practice drawing as well? Since you're here at Miss Hall's Art Museum, but Von Karma did take Edgeworth is in as a sorta son, yeah, after his dad died. Kind of. It would be an honor to have Monsieur Artiste sketch our exhibits. Oh, I guess even you have some good ideas every now and then, Edgy. I'll do a bit of sketching for Katie here. What an amusing person. Yeah. Quite horrible when you think about how Von Karma was the one who killed him. Yep. Yeah, that was all in the first game. Jeff. Forgive the disturbance. Incidentally, who was the woman that was with you earlier? Yeah. Although... did he really mean it, though? I mean, they were stuck inside an elevator, and Miles threw a gun. He didn't shoot it. Miles was in the elevator with his dad and Yanni Yogi, who was I don't know what function he did at the courthouse. And he threw a gun, and when the gun fell on the floor, it shot through the door of the elevator in which they were stuck because there was an earthquake and there was a blackout. And the bullet went into Von Karma's shoulder, and then he used the gun that he has as a piece of evidence from the DL6 case to shoot through the door of the elevator, and that killed Gregory Edgeworth. But did he really mean to kill him? I don't know if this was really intentional, but he sure tried to conceal the fact that he was the murderer of Gregory Edgeworth, at least. Because he only went to jail for that, like, years later. Incidentally, who was the woman that was with you earlier? Yeah, kind of, yeah. Well, no, because Miles just threw the gun, and he wasn't really aiming for anyone. And the gun just went off by accident and shot Von Karma, who happened to pass by the elevator in the hallway outside of it. So, yeah, no, well, Edgeworth did believe that he killed his father, because he didn't remember the facts right, because he suppressed what happened or something like that. Well, yeah, he started the whole chain. And they started panicking inside the elevator because oxygen was... the oxygen levels were going down, so they were kind of getting asphyxiated. He did want to kill Gregory. He had tarnished his perfect record. Yeah, but did he know that it was Gregory inside? I can't recall. Or maybe he could hear them inside. Maybe. Yeah, but... Well, you know, these things, they kind of have to... make them super overly complicated so that you have to spend some time, like, how should I say, unraveling the threads, I guess, of the fabric of the story, if that makes sense. Incidentally, who was the woman that was with you earlier? That was Madame Delicious Cones. She is currently assisting in the treatment of Monsieur Gustavia in the infirmary. Well, yeah, she's a pharmacist after all. Even though I said infirmary, since this is an art museum now, it is only provisional. As I am the only staff member working here, I cannot take a leave of my duties for too long. Yes, yeah, that's the final case of the original Game Boy Advance version, because in the Nintendo DS version and every subsequent releases, they added an extra case to the game that takes place after that one, where the character of what's her name again? She appears in the Polo Justice. What's her name again? Emma Sky, where the character of Emma Sky is introduced. Delicious Cones. I believe we have heard that name before, Mr. Shields. Yep, looks like the whole gang from the Is7 Incident is here. Well, I doubt that it's a coincidence. Monsieur Shields, Monsieur Edgeworth, would you care for some hot tea? Oh, Miss Kate's tea, that takes me back. Yes, if you please. Edgeworth thinks that he killed his father, and slowly he starts to realize that it was not him. What a great final boss case. Well, Von Karma certainly didn't help in trying to convince him that it was not his fault. Because he was the real culprit all along, so now I must take my leave. I must explain the situation to the other visitors. Alright, thanks for everything. Alright, she leaves. This smells like Ceylon tea. I should drink it before it cools. Oh, this Ceylon tea is of very high quality, and this aroma of citrus. It does wonders for your concentration, right? Hehehe, your old man said the exact same thing 18 years ago, but the sorcerers back then were chilled. Today they're warm. Anyway, don't you think this current situation is rather unusual? You mean how everyone involved in the case 18 years ago has gathered at this museum? Yes, I would like to be in charge of this case, if at all possible. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, are you okay? Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Shields. I came here as fast as I could when I heard that you were done in by the poison gas. Nope. Oh, my sweet honey Kay, how about a hug after being parted for so long? No! Jeez, you're perfectly fine. I can't believe you made us worry so much. Detective Gumshoe, what is the meaning of bringing Kay here? I'm sorry, sir. I knew the gas was dangerous, so I tried to stop her. But no matter how much I ran and ran and ran and ran and ran, I couldn't gain any ground. Hehehe. When it comes to running away, no one is faster than the Yatakarasu. But you weren't running away from here. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm all set, sir. I'll start investigating the crime scene. Since there might still be traces of gas in the room, I'll have to ask everyone to wait here. Very well, I'm counting on you. Good luck in there, Flatfoot. Wow, Gummy's so cool. He's just like a detective. But that's what he is. As if that needed to be reminded. Yes, Edgeworth here. Mr. Edgeworth, it looks like the poison gas has dissipated, sir. Detective, calmly explain the state of the Autumn Palace. Yes, sir. I'll start with the exhibits. On the left there's a statue with two people, the Gemini. And on the right, there's a statue of an animal with two horns, the Taurus. I also think Von Karma took in Edgeworth to kind of break him in a way. He had everything planned for the future. He might have even reminded him of his father's death often. Of course, this is just my own speculation. Yeah, there is a bit of that, I think. It was not with the purest of intents anyway. Yeah, you can at least guess that much. I like how Gumshoe trusts and respects Edgeworth so much. A statue of two people and a statue of an animal with horns. Isn't that the exact same thing I saw in the Winter Palace just a while ago? Also, the room is wet with water thanks to the sprinkler system. That also prevented the gas from harming anyone else. The sprinkler system. Was there a fire in the room? There are no signs of a fire, and the fire alarm hasn't gone off either, sir. The sprinklers in this museum are the kind that detects both smoke and fire. All because it was lose a case, just that, yeah. If it detects smoke, it will send an alert to the security room. I think the poison gas might have set off the alarm in the security room, sir. Was there anyone in the security room at the time? The only one working here is the curator, Miss Kathryn Hall, sir. She has been in the reception booth, opposite the security room, ever since the museum opened. He's like a good dog. Did Miss Hall turn on the sprinklers? The sprinkler system can only be operated manually from the security room, sir. If it had been automatic, it would have sprayed water all over the exhibits. Since the system is manual, the situation can be examined and the exhibits moved if need be. I guess there would be more priority over the exhibits than the building. Only at a museum. Brr, but it's way too cold in this room, sir. Isn't this supposed to be the Autumn Palace? It feels more like the dead of winter in here. The Autumn Palace is cold? I checked the thermostat earlier and it was set to 27 degrees Fahrenheit. I couldn't believe it. Why would the Autumn Palace be set to the same temperature as the Winter Palace? That's about all I know for now, sir. If I figure out anything else, I'll give you another call. I see. I'm counting on you, detective. What did Gummy say? He said it feels more like winter in the Autumn Palace. I don't get it. I haven't been able to enter the room personally. But it should be possible to look inside after the police have finished investigating. I'd like to know what it's like in there myself. Isn't there anyone else who knows about the incident? There is someone. Miles' friend, right? Friend? Though he's such a nuisance, we have no choice but to listen to what he has to say for now. There he is, sketching. Wait, you mean... Oh, you're here too, Kay. You're looking as cute as ever. Yeah, how old is she in this one again? Is she still like 16 or something? Oh, okay, I guess she's 17 now. But still, that's pretty young. Hitting on minors. Yeah. Well, he did think that Pearl was very, very cute too, so, I guess that he's not too bothered by the lady's age. Anyway, long time no see. It's Larry, isn't it? Okay, right now my name is Laurice. I'm an artist, that's why. So that's your pen name, Laurice, the artist formerly known as Larry. Wow, you really are a good girl, Kay. Nothing like edgy here. Larry, I have many things I need to ask you. What's this? Don't tell me you suspect me again. You're gonna say because I was first on the scene I must be the culprit, aren't you? I never said anything like that. I only want you to tell me what you saw. You said you saw something that no one should ever have to see, did you not? But now I'm saying I didn't see nothing and I didn't do nothing. Probably. Oh my, you didn't seem so confident at the end there. There are somewhat troublesome circumstances surrounding this man. The saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts, still holds true 26 years on. One could say his tendency to attract trouble is legendary. It seems he's done something troublesome without even realizing it himself. I'll just have to try and extract the truth from him. My goal is to expose whatever Larry is hiding, and he's always hiding something. For no good reason, even. However, I didn't see nothing. I didn't do nothing. Larry is an extremely restless and troublesome man. Until he cools down, I'll just wait and see. First, I'll ask him about his goal. This isn't something I can't handle. I'll finish this quickly. Oh, normally, yeah. Well, why did you come here? What was your purpose for coming to the art gallery? What? Are you saying that I don't belong in an art gallery? Wait and see. Hey, if you're not gonna talk, hold that pose so I can paint your portrait. And then I'll scribble all over the portrait I drew of you. Wait and see. Let him cool down. I was just joking. I would never scribble over my paintings, of course. They're works of art after all. I don't think any of your works would qualify as art. Don't look down on me. There are people who recognize my skills as an artist. I don't know. Wait and see. Mandy is my girlfriend, but it's really my paintings she fell in love with. That's why I'll sketch anything my girlfriend likes. Then why are you here on your own today? So what? Can't a guy with a girlfriend spend some time alone? Wait and see, I suppose. Mandy said she's a Gemini. I thought she'd be happy if I showed her a sketch of it on our next date. Do you really have that much confidence in the sketch? Well, I'm not so confident about this one, but I thought she would be happy if I did a sketch of her astrological sign. Okay, he seems to be cooled down a bit now, so... I see. That's just like you. To impress Mandy, you came here to see the Gemini sculpture, didn't you? What? How'd you find out? Because you just unknowingly told me everything. I do wonder how he gets girlfriend in the first place, even if they don't last long. Well, yeah, I do wonder. I mean, well, I always assumed it's more like he considers them as such at the smallest sign of interest that they might show him. But they're actually not his girlfriends. I mean, they don't even kiss or anything like that, I mean. They don't even go out together, I guess. It's just girls taking advantage of him, I guess. That's how I've been seeing it all along, anyway. I'm not saying another word from now on. Because, yeah, how does he do that, anyway? He's finally decided to remain silent. In that case, I'll be more relentless in my questioning. I'll try to find out what he was doing here at the art gallery. I'll expose his true motives. This shouldn't take long. What did you do at the art gallery? You, just what did you do in this art gallery? What's with that glare? I don't really remember anything. I didn't have a pamphlet, so I just loitered around the fountain patio. You forgot to get a pamphlet? Don't they give you a pamphlet at the reception booth after you pay the admission fee? Oh, is that right? So the admission wasn't free, huh? You didn't pay? Don't tell me. You sneaked in here without paying? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do anything bad. It's just, there was no one at the reception booth. That's why I thought you could come in here for free. Miss Hall wasn't in the booth? That could be the case, but it did seem like the girl from the first case in the first game had been his girlfriend, but then ditched him. Yeah. Yeah, but the fact that she... she was the victim, wasn't she? I guess. But when she was moving to New York or whatever it was, she was moving somewhere, but then the clock was sent to a different time or something. And at the end, when you show him the statue or something like that, Mia says something to him like... but you see, she still kept the statue that you gave her, so maybe she still thought of you or something like that or something, and that made him feel better, from what I remember. At the end of that case. I've played the first game more than the others, so it's a bit more fresh in my memory in that one. Especially the first case, I guess. Miss Hall wasn't at the reception booth. Yeah, it didn't look like there was anyone on the other side of the desk. Come to think of it. Gumshoe did say something about that. Miss Hall was busy activating the sprinklers from the security room. Because of the incident, she had to leave the reception booth. Poor Katie. She went to all that trouble to open up the place, and now the art gallery's star attraction, the Winter Palace, is completely ruined. No, it isn't. I love when you play Chess Mind or interrogate people that are not bad enemies, like Larry. Wait, you know about the Winter Palace, but that's not the one you came out of, was it? You're certainly well informed about the Winter Palace for someone without a pamphlet. The Winter Palace is where your goal, the Gemini sculpture, is located. You had your sights set on the Winter Palace from the beginning, didn't you? What? It's funny how this means usually used to get info from baddies is used lightheartedly like this. Yeah. It was France, and she basically ditched him for a richer guy. Ah, yeah, that might have been, yeah. Wasn't she a model or something? And she left for France, yeah, because of her job as a model or something like that? That's right, my goal was to see the Gemini sculpture. From the very beginning, the Winter Palace was the very reason why I came here. He confessed quite easily. You can never tell anything with this man. Next, I'll ask for further information regarding the Winter Palace. He may still have some fight left in him. I'll watch his reactions and extract the information I need. Did you enter the Winter Palace? What did you see? Well, did you go in there? Larry, did you also enter the Winter Palace? Oh, what's with that look of distrust? Sure, I tried going in, but... What, you couldn't get in? Or wait and see? No, you couldn't get in, maybe. You tried to go in, but you weren't actually able to, right? So maybe he does have charm somewhere, but since he's broke, they don't want him, because all the girls he finds seem to only want money. Yeah, maybe, I guess, he's attracted to gold diggers. Unfortunately for him, I guess. Then that old geezer collapsed. I was a little freaked out. No, I didn't mean to say wait and see. Huh? What? If you're not gonna talk, I'm going back to my sketching. I didn't mean to. I pressed the button too quick. Oh boy, that's a big time loss. Ah! I will have to restart that one. You're still hung up on that? Didn't I say that I didn't see anything? I started to think that it wasn't such a good idea to come to the art gallery. I needed to leave soon to meet with my girlfriend. I don't have enough clues to proceed with this line of questioning. Maybe I should try another line of attack. Yeah, right. Yeah, let's go back to the first question. There was another girl he dated who made him sell those samurai hot dogs. Yeah, I honestly can't remember them all because there's been a lot of them, unfortunately. Did you also enter the Winter Palace? Okay, we've already been there. So you couldn't get in because the victim of the poison gas collapsed? Rudy, my dear streamer, it's pronounced unfortunately. Yeah. Choo. Like choo-choo. Yeah, he fell right out of the Winter Palace. I'm sure the victim emerged from the Autumn Palace. If it weren't for that poison gas incident, I'd be in there sketching the Gemini sculpture. Right now. Larry must have mistaken the Autumn Palace for the Winter Palace. That aside, it seems his goal was to sketch the sculpture. This should be a useful clue. Okay, Larry, what did you see in the Winter Palace? You're still hung up on that? Didn't I say that I didn't see anything? Started to think it wasn't such a good idea to come to the art gallery. I needed to leave soon to meet my girlfriend. Perhaps I should try using that clue. What about your sketch? You came here to sketch the sculpture for your girlfriend, did you not? My mind is filled with Ace Attorney and Ace Attorney investigations knowledge. I've played and watched people play maybe a bit too much. I don't think you would give up that easily. Even after the victim collapsed, you could still see inside the room from the outside, right? So unfortunately, because this is the last one that I have access to that I can stream, and I've already streamed all of them up until now. I would like to stream the 3DS ones eventually, but I need a better PC to emulate the 3DS to be able to do that, and my PC needs a replacement anyway, and I can't afford one at the moment. But I intend to stream in the not so distant future a game called Ghost Trick, which is by the same creator. It's also investigation based, something like that. So if this is something that you feel like might be interesting to you, well, maybe something to keep in mind. Because I have Ghost Trick on the DS, but I've never played it. It's still on my backlog. I bought that years ago, and I have yet to play it. There's no evidence that I saw something scary in there, right? You saw something scary? Ghost Trick, yeah. My, I'm disappointed it turned out to be this simple. Larry, you saw something scary at the crime scene, didn't you? Hedgie! Can you read my mind? In that case, there's no point in keeping any more secrets from you. You've only played a small bit of that yourself, but you've watched someone play it? Yeah, I lent the game to my bro who played it, and not me, despite it being my game, but, and he told me he liked it a lot, so I'm looking forward to being able to play this in the not-so-distant future. Well, yeah, everyone seems to say that it's really good, that it's sort of a hidden gem on the Nintendo DS, so, that's why I bought it in the first place, because everyone said that it was really good, and it was pretty cheap when I found it, so that was another reason. So, yeah, I still have to play this. Just told me everything of your own accord. That was a complete waste of time, but finally, it's checkmate. Logic chess complete. I had my eyes fixed on the Gemini sculpture. Objection! You've mentioned the Gemini sculpture many times now, but I don't believe the sculpture you saw was the Gemini one. What? Was it a mirage then? Larry mistakenly thought he saw the Winter Palace. This piece of evidence shows what Larry really saw. This? Yeah, the Autumn Palace.
Take that!
Take a look at this pamphlet. In the Autumn Palace, the Pisces, Capricorn, Aries, and Aquarius sculptures are displayed. Incidentally, I can confirm that the Gemini sculpture is located in the Winter Palace. Therefore, the sculpture you saw could not have been the Gemini one. I knew it. I expected him to be a bit more shocked at the news. I thought it was kinda strange. I know I saw a single goddess, and that transformation was no mirage. Transformation, you say? Oh, you're curious too, Edgy. Well, nothing for it, I guess. I'll have to show you. Show me what exactly? I drew a picture of the very scene I saw back then, but I really can't believe what I drew. Picture? What picture? This one, right here. What is this disturbing picture? Is that sculpture weeping tears of blood? Lorice! This picture is scary! Kay, it scared me too. This Gemini sculpture suddenly transformed into a goddess right before my eyes. I couldn't help but scream. So the victim collapsing wasn't what surprised him. What do you mean when you say transformed? I don't really understand it myself. The lower half of its body just turned into a fish. A fish goddess, that would be the Pisces sculpture, wouldn't it? In mythology, Pisces represents the fish that a goddess and her son transform into. Really? So Pisces isn't just a couple of ordinary fish? Edgy, you don't think that sculpture is cursed, do you? Damn, okay, I forgot Larry draws so well. Yeah, he actually has some talent. You wouldn't think because of how stupid he can be, but he has actually some artistic talent, I guess. Preposterous. You simply mistook the Pisces sculpture for the Gemini one. Pisces sketch data, jot it down in my organizer. Oh, you put the sketch in your organizer? Even a sketch like this can be used as scrap paper after all. How could you? But it's strange. Why did only the lower half of the sculpture transform? Uncle Ray is a bit curious about what went on in the Autumn Palace. Indeed, I wonder if someone tampered with the Pisces sculpture. By the way, that's not an autumn zodiac sign, Pisces, is it? Because my bro is a Pisces and he was born in March. So that's a late winter, early spring sign, I think. Or something like that. Mr. Edgeworth, we've finished searching the room. The poison gas isn't a threat anymore, so you can enter the crime scene. Right, good work, detective. It seems we can enter the Autumn Palace now. Nice timing, Mr. Detective. Let's go right now. I want to see the Pisces sculpture. If Kay's going, I'm going too. I was planning on bringing him along anyway. Right then, let's proceed to the Autumn Palace. So this is the Autumn Palace. It certainly does resemble the Winter Palace. I've been waiting, sir. Aren't you that Harry Butts guy? Wrong! I'm Loris Donim. Never mind that, detective. Your report, if you please. Roger that, sir. We discovered a used gas burner during our investigation. The nozzle was still warm when we found it, so it may be related to the incident. Was it used to heat something? Well, you can make poison gas sometimes by burning something. Your brother is a Pisces too? Yeah, mine is from... It was born on March 8th. So that's how I know. Used gas burner data jotted down in my organizer. So yeah, that sign must be from, like... I don't know the exact date, but like 20th of February to 20th of March or something like that. Give or take a few days. But it's not autumn, that's for sure. That's not an autumn sign. Used gas burner data. Jotted down in my organizer. Was that ladder always there on the ground? It was probably used by the person who set off the poison gas. The poison gas was released when someone lifted the lid off that glass case, sir. The Pisces sculpture. Uh-huh. Seems like you know about it, sir. Well then, do you know what the sculpture next to it is? Since we're in the Autumn Palace, it would probably be the Capricorn sculpture. As expected of Mr. Edgeworth, I thought it was a Taurus myself. I was thrown off as it was covered by this weird cloth. The fluorescent cloth! I wonder what it's doing here. Evidence from the Is7 incident. Uh-huh. Well, maybe that woman... what's her name again? That woman who can't do pastries. Yeah, she's in the organizer. Come on. Yeah, Delisha. Yeah, okay, there we go. No matter what it is or how it got here. Why are they covered anyway? The sculptures in this room are all covered with this fluorescent cloth. And because they're hidden, it makes me want to see them even more. Let's take a look. I'll just get this cloth off. Wow, they're beautiful. One is what's called Aries, or Aries, and the other one is I know the names in my own language, but in English I'm not very good with the zodiac signs. Come on, really. Aquarius, yeah, there we go. Okay. As a March child myself, just on the later part of March, I can say it's spring. That's what everyone tells me, at least. Yeah. Well, from a pure meteorological standpoint, spring starts at the start of March, but usually, traditionally speaking, it's considered that spring starts on March 21st. Usually, anyway. So that's why I was saying, depending on how you look at it, it can be late winter or early spring. Pisces. You don't think the transformation Larry saw was in fact the moment the cloth wrapped around the lower half of Pisces fell? See ya, G. It wasn't a mirage or a mistake after all. Hey Miles, there sure is something strange about this room. It looks exactly the same as the Winter Palace we were in just a moment ago. Yeah, because isn't March 21st the winter solstice or something like that? No, equinox. No, it's the spring equinox. March 21st. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I had to remember that. I had to remind myself. It looks exactly the same as the Winter Palace we were in just a moment ago. Yes, I agree. Perhaps the sculptures were hidden to make it look like the Winter Palace. If you wrap the cloth around the lower half of the Pisces sculpture, it looks like Gemini. Capricorn is a half fish too. Hide the lower half and it resembles Taurus. The remaining two, which couldn't be altered with trickery, were covered up. The Autumn Palace was made to look like the Winter Palace, so it seems, Mr. Shields. It looks like we'll need to conduct an investigation of the Autumn Palace too. Hold it! I know, wouldn't be Von Karma, I guess. Mr. The Best and Judge Courtney. Oh no, not them. Hey, you guys again. This is a problem. You see, this is my crime scene. Mr. Edgeworth, it seems my power is insufficient. If you're here, then it would appear that you still haven't understood my warnings. What, he isn't even allowed to do his job anymore as a prosecutor? Furthermore, you know full well your reckless actions will cause trouble for that detective. In the name of the goddess of law, I must pass judgment. You've got it all wrong, pal. I was the one who asked Mr. Edgeworth to investigate. Really? Well then, Flatfoot, I'll have to do that. That? Yeah, that. Right. Cut your salary. Looking forward to your next payday? I've always wanted to say that. You're the last person I want cutting my salary, pal. Hold it the best. I am only cooperating with the police as a witness to this incident. Detective Gumshoe is not to blame. So that's how it is. Well then, should I be raising his salary? No, that's not what I meant. But it would be really nice to get my salary raised. Your mercy is deeply moving, Sebastian. But past transgressions must lead to future judgment. Prosecutor Edgeworth and all in his company depart at once from this holy site. But we only just got here. The one given the goddess of law's blessing for this incident was Sebastian. In other words, Mr. the Best is the prosecutor in charge of this case. That's right, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening performance is over. Besides, I've already got my eyes set on the culprit. What? Who, pal? Well, naturally, that artist. Oh, okay. It's gonna be him again. How many times does he have to be suspected of murdering someone? What's going on, G? Don't ask me. I can't understand his reasoning. If you can't understand how the best prosecutor thinks, it simply shows how inculpable you are. I think you mean incapable. It seems he doesn't know what inculpable even means. That's right, Sebastian. Prosecutor Edgeworth is quite incapable. They only just got here. How could they have already figured out who it is, and what's their proof? For all we know, they only just entered the building. They haven't even investigated anything yet. Yes, he's incapable. She just nonchalantly corrected him. I guess she's just so used to it by now that she has to do it every time. Don't underestimate my intelligence gathering skills. I just came from the infirmary and asked the doctor there about the cause of the poison gas. And what was the cause? Courtney really deserves to be fired. Some normal substance. What was its name again? Hold on a second. I'll call the doctor to make sure. Since Sebastian is on the phone, I'll answer for him. In that case, why didn't you tell us before he called? The poison gas was caused by the mixing of 2 different types of chemicals. Their names are normalium and fatalium. Should I know these? What are those chemicals exactly? Normalium is a red liquid that's commonly used in everyday products. Sebastian, please, you're cute, but just keep your mouth closed. I don't like the guy. I can't bring myself to like him, I'm sorry. It can be found in paint and detergent, among other things, but it is not toxic by itself. Love how his character sprite just flipped around and just flew through the right. Me neither, but it's funny. So you're saying that it's a substance readily available to anyone. Yes, but fatalium, on the other hand, is not so easy to obtain. But he's a poor little baby. Its name sure sounds dangerous. What's it used for? It is the active ingredient of a white pesticide known as Megatoxin X. That sure looks like a toxin, alright. That skull on the bottle's label looks dangerous. I love his surprised pose, yeah. Fatalium itself also has deep white color, but it's not readily sold in stores. It's nearly impossible to obtain domestically. Right now we are looking into how this chemical was obtained. The white fatalium mixed with the red normalium causes a chemical reaction. What's with the burner then? I thought the burner might have been used to trigger a reaction that caused the gas to be released. Poor little puppy boy. Judge Courtney has already told us. We don't need to hear it again. Fine then. I'll cut to the chase. You know that normalium from the poison gas is also used in paint, right? Today, out of everyone who visited the art gallery, the only one carrying paint was that artist. Well, whoa. Back off for a second. What about that thing that was red that was dripping from the statue before? I bet the paint was inside the eyes of the statue, and someone used a burner to melt the ice so that this thing was released. And then that was mixed somehow with that fatalium. Could it be? Well, we'll see anyway. You're treating me as that culprit just because as a culprit just because of that? I object to the red paint on the palette you're carrying. Hey, Edgy, don't you think this prosecutor is kind of an idiot? Wow, Larry, you came to that conclusion, didn't you? Yeah, well, I have that as evidence anyway. So this will probably be brought at some point. Indeed, although I've only known him for a short time, his logic is always absurd. Larry might be right. Hey, don't ignore me! It's alright, Sebastian. They're only doing it because they're afraid of you. No, I don't think so. Like the first star to appear at night, show us the reasoning that shines the best. The first star shines best. Not bad. Hey, you guys, better listen up too. Mr. The Best's shining logic. That artist was the first to discover the victim, so naturally is the best suspect. Yeah, right. The poison gas was caused by normalium, a chemical found in paint, right? As he was carrying paint near the victim, he would have had the best chance. The paint, along with being the first witness, that pretty much proves he's the culprit. But where did the poison come from then? He didn't give an explanation for this, so what do you think, Justine? We cannot ignore the possibility. Well then, Mr. Artist, please tell us the truth. Did you leave red paint at the crime scene? Or else, did you cause the poison gas to go off? The only thing I leave behind is my bond of love with you. Please, watch what you say. My gavel is already prepared to declare you guilty. Objection! Please pay no heed to this man's statements.
Objection!
Hey, you guys, ignoring my reasoning just because it's flawless won't do you any good. Mr. Edgeworth, if you've already admitted defeat, you should take your leave. Even though I don't really have time to deal with your ridiculous reasoning. Hold on. No, not that. Yeah. Or do I have the... no, I don't have the little bottle of fatalium as a piece of evidence, so I guess it's this one. It's caused by a reaction, not the chemical by itself. So, you need to prove that he brought the fatalium as well. You left that out, didn't you? Mr. The Best, your logic is more akin to a shooting star than a shining star. It shines the best like a shooting star, right? It may shine brightly for a brief moment, but then it burns itself out. The poison gas originated from inside the glass case of the Pisces sculpture. Exactly, so that's where the artist set off the gas, right? He used the normalium in his red paint. As your senior, let me give you one piece of advice. Listen to the explanations of others. The poison gas was caused by mixing both normalium and fatalium together. The normalium contained in the red paint is not enough by itself. Really? But I thought I heard that normalium caused the fatality. Don't tell me you just misheard the forensic report. Darn it! By the time Larry discovered the victim, the room was already filled with poison gas. It is time for you to realize how incapable you really are. Hey, what do you mean by incapable? You tried to use that word earlier and you still don't know what it means? He means to say you are lacking in ability. Incidentally, inculpable has a completely different meaning. It means someone that can be charged with something. I get it, you're making fun of me again, aren't you? I am merely saying you were incapable in your investigation. Overruled! Before you insult Sebastian, I still have some doubts about your own statement. What kind of doubts? For all we know, Mr. Artist could have simply entered the Autumn Palace at an earlier time. Moreover, do you have evidence that the red paint is unrelated to the case? The most important thing now is not the red paint. The red normalium and the white fatalium, exactly how were these two substances mixed? I believe that is our main concern. Naturally, it was Sebastian's job to investigate that. Were it not for your interference, we would have found that out by now. I never intended to interfere, on the contrary, I'd like to cooperate. Don't tell me you're going to say you know the cause of the poison gas. How the poison gas started, I have something that may shed some light on this matter. Well, I have my own explanation and I think I'm right with this. Sebastian, do not fall for his bluff. Come now, it's fine really. Let's hear what he's come up with. If you say so, Sebastian. Come on, show us. How did the poison gas start? Well, with the statue melting and unleashing a red substance.
Take that!
I think. Surely you're not saying that this was the cause of poison gas. It seems even you have noticed it. What? I'm wrong? Duh, it really stands out. Those red tears. I know. Okay, yeah. Okay, this is the right thing. Those red tears that Larry saw were undoubtedly normalium. Huh? Wait a second. If those were chemicals, does that mean a ghost set off the poison gas? I don't have time to play along with him. The red tears of normalium could not have triggered the poison gas by itself. That red liquid was mixed inside the case to create the poison gas. Ah, okay. What? Just... where do you see evidence that the chemicals were mixed? That can also be seen in the sketch. Here is the evidence. Show the evidence that the two chemicals were mixed. Well, the pink stain. Right here.
Take that!
Because didn't she say it's pink, the poison? The proof is right here. It seems the truth has been made as clear as black and white. You really are just a bluffing fool. Hey, what? No, that's not it. As clear as black and white, it's not quite that simple. If you mixed white and red naturally, their color should change. Or what? The what's inside? On the statue itself? The proof is right here. No, that's not right. Damn it. Or maybe I didn't point at it correctly.
Take that!
That's what I thought I did before. Ah, okay. Because when he says white, when white and red mix, it gives another color. So yeah, I figured, well, yeah, that's pink, but that's what I just tried, and it didn't work. So I guess I didn't point right where I was supposed to. A pink liquid can be seen flowing out from under the case of the Pisces sculpture. This is proof that the two chemicals were mixed. Hold on a second, I still don't get it. Yeah, I think I might have hit the post, you might be right. How does this show that normalium and fatalium were mixed? Since we have a self-proclaimed artist here, I'll let him explain. Larry, you fancy yourself an artist, so you should know about mixing paints, right? What do you add to red to make pink? Don't take me for a fool, Edgy. I'll have you know I graduated from middle school. That's nothing to brag about. You had white to red to make pink. It's common knowledge. Well, technically, there was rose pink, baby pink, and several others.
Hold it!
That's enough. Now, do you understand, Mr. The Best? That's how it is. By mixing red normalium with white fatalium. Well, I would argue that there are some chemicals which, when mixed, give a color that's actually completely different from the two that you started out with. So, when talking about chemicals, that doesn't always apply. Yes, exactly. It took him long enough. I see. It looks like Mr. The Best finally gets it. Prosecutor Edgeworth, you have merely presented one possibility. Do we really know if the color was the result of the two chemicals mixed together? Furthermore, the sketch was drawn by the suspect. I cannot put much faith into it. I just painted what I saw. How could that be a lie? Mr. Artist, I did not permit you to speak. So cold, but that's part of our charm. Of course, I intend to bring the truth to light immediately. Overruled! It would not be wise to jeopardize your position even further. Aren't you going to answer my question from before? How do you know that Mr. Artist did not enter the Autumn Palace? If you cannot prove this, there is no room for you to argue any further. Hey, couldn't we find that out if we talk to the victim, pal? The victim, Dane Gustavia, remains unconscious and in critical condition. Ah, that's right. Well then, Sebastian, we'll be investigating the crime scene now. All of you, please vacate the premises. Hold it. If you were to take a stand in court, it'd cause a lot of trouble for the presiding judge. Is there something you would like to say? Mr. Artist? Hold your horses, Miss Cool Beauty. My name is Justine Courtney. Please don't address me by such a strange title. Oh, you finally told me your name. Pleased to meet you, Justine. Ooh, damn, he's good. He got her name. I am Loris Donim, but you can call me Loris. Mr. Artist, please get to the point. I just remembered something I haven't had a chance to say yet. When I first got to this room, it was locked. Wow, we can all learn from Larry. I was kidding, obviously. When I first got to this room, it was locked, so I couldn't go in. But then, that old dude just suddenly fell through the door. It would appear that the palace rooms can be locked from the inside. But just because you say it was so, doesn't mean the door was locked. Chemicals changing colors doesn't usually have much to do with what colors the chemicals being mixed are. Yup. Well, I remember that much, at least, from chemistry classes back in school. Without proof, your statement holds no value.
Objection.
Well, why not let Uncle Ray prove it to you? Well, after all, we can confirm the room was locked too, right, Miles? Yes, I remember as well. The Winter Palace should be... it's locked up. That's odd. They've already opened the museum. Until the gas outbreak, no one could have entered this room. Perhaps the suspect entered the room with the victim during the gas outbreak. As you can see, this man did not inhale any of the gas. If you examine his belongings, you'll find he wasn't carrying a gas mask either. Is that so? Well then, I have no choice but to agree. That was easier than I expected. Anyway, I presume this clears up any suspicions surrounding Larry. It seems Mr. The Best's logic was off once again. Oh, haha, not exactly. I just didn't have enough information, that's all. Therefore, my reasoning was just before its time. He sure has a grand way of saying that things didn't work out for him. In that case, there is one more suspect who has yet to take the stand. Mr. Artist, you are free to go. Huh? But I wanted to talk to you a little more, Justy. Overruled. Your cold demeanor leaves me mesmerized all the more. Ah, Larry. You'll never change. This other suspect is a pharmacist by the name of Delicious Cones. It would have been difficult for this artist to obtain the Fatalium from Megatoxin X. Well, that's what I said earlier, yeah. But a pharmacist may have knowledge of how to do that. Well, actually, I can't argue with that reasoning. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. We're not in court! Sebastian, it would be best if we brought her in quickly. Best if we brought her quickly? Heh, sounds good. Great catchphrase. My logic was just before its time. Hey, Flatfoot, keep up the investigation. Yeah, I don't know, like a prosecutor is never late, Mr. Edgeworth. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. You were saying that it's not impressive, but it looks like all the other characters haven't graduated middle school. Well, the best looks young indeed. Actually, what's his age? How old is he? He should be in here. 17, and he's already prosecutor. and he's that bad, how did he graduate from a, like, law school at 17 and still be so stupid? How does that work? Don't tell me Judge Courtney suspected her from the very beginning. So Mr. The Best's logic wasn't any help at all. Judge Courtney, just what is she thinking? They looked at his name and thought, okay, he is good enough. So? Ah, okay, to be continued. Well, this seems like a good spot for me to stop for tonight. And so we'll continue tomorrow. This case seems longer, especially if we are actually investigating two cases at the same time. The one that takes place in the past and this one. So that might take some time. I'm not quite sure how long, but well, we'll see, I guess. So yeah, not just good enough. He is the best. But anyway, okay, guys. I'll rest a little now, and hopefully I feel in much better condition tomorrow night and not nearly as tired as I was today. Yep, you're welcome, guys. And so, well, if you can make it tomorrow night, then that will be appreciated. And, well, we'll continue investigating this case then. Take care of yourselves, and I'll be back tomorrow night. See ya, guys.